And all these people that are in Conspiracyville want to say like, yeah, dude, aliens aren't demons. It's like, what about the swaths of people that predicted that this thing was going to happen during this time? And why isn't the government? It's one thing to like say, hey, there's some technology. I don't know about you, but I don't care about the technology. What is the nature of these things? What do they want?
Tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the f*** are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Revolution will be podcasted. All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat live from the Wolfpack Gold Studios. That's right. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Just go to samtripoli.gold. Use promo code Tinfoil, and you too can get in on the Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. Amazing. Very excited to have our guests on. It's like, dude, the return of the prodigal sons, dude. The amazing. I feel like I've known you guys since you guys were just wee little podcasters, and now you guys are major players in the space. I'm very excited. They have one of the most exciting podcasts out there called Nephilim Deathsquad. Please welcome Top Lobster and Raven. How are you guys?
Thank you for having us, dude. It's a pleasure to be back. It's been too long. You have watched us since we were just little babies,
just little tiny peoples, and now you guys are just major players, calling people faggots. It's fucking great, dude. You guys are crushing it.
I mean, Sam. Thank you for like mentioning us on different shows. Like you would mention us to Jamie Kennedy and shit like that. It's like,
oh, that was crazy.
A lot of our success or perceived success has come from your like the push and the nudge that you gave us. So thank you, and that's enough gargling for today.
We're not going to gargle you anymore. Do it right up at the top. All right, a little bit, but that's it.
One thing, I'm going to give you a moment to promote all your stuff, but we just did a show with Dr. Heather Lynn, and we got into the discussion about she was talking, she's basically talking, we were getting algorithms and all this stuff, and I brought up something that kind of was inspired by you guys and your last appearance about the telepathy tapes, and how this there's been this real censorship of podcasting, content creators, comedians. And because I was saying this a long time ago, that like we've kind of gotten back to the spoken word, right? We got back where people are listening to podcasts. It's not necessarily newspapers anymore. You can have a blog. How many people are reading the blogs? It's really about the spoken word, which brings me back to you guys talking about the telepathy tapes and how you feel that, maybe telepathy is the work of the devil, dark energy and stuff like that. And she was agreeing on with that podcasts have become very popular, because I feel that regardless of whatever you think the timeline of humanity is, that spoken word was the way knowledge was passed down. And going back to what you guys are saying about telepathy, that maybe that's why they're so angry with podcasts, and they're so angry and there's so much censorship going on the internet. What are your guys' thoughts on that? That like the spoken word again fits in what you're saying, but that's why podcasts are so dangerous.
Well, when we're talking about spoken word, it's first and foremost, it's prophecy. Like we're transmuting. It's crazy. It sounds like new age shit, but you're transmuting the air. Like your vocal cords are throwing out frequencies and consonants and vowels and things like that. And how I'm speaking and how people are hearing and perceiving this can really change how, it can change their mind. So
to change their lives. No, he's making a great point about this idea of emitting a frequency and the receiver of this frequency. This idea that's transmitted, it changes people.
Well, how about now? Am I still sounding underwater?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Whatever happened made it a little better, I think.
Yeah, you're fine. You're great. I just wanted to make sure you got all your glory.
So yeah, I was kind of like extrapolating on that point that as a musician before I was like a podcast or a truck driver, whatever else I did, I was obsessed with this idea of perfect pitch, and I took some courses on it, and I quickly noticed that the person doing the courses was manipulating you with how they speak. Because even though we're just speaking in spoken word, there is a frequency and a tonality to it. So you'll notice this with like President Obama.
Obama's a great one. The cadence.
Not just the cadence. I mean, you'll hear preachers do the cadence and all that, but like it's super important. It's like a transic property that they're exhibiting to you, and they're drawing you in. Comedians do it, Sam. You guys
all
do
the
it
time. I'm the worst at it, but black comics do it. They put you in a cadence. You know, I always say comedy is Jedi mind trick shit, and that's why when a comic stutters or messes up a joke, it takes people out of trance. They got to put them back in the trance.
Yeah, it's like sorcery. You know, I did stand up 2 to 3 times in Las Vegas at an open mic, and for some reason, every time I did, I adopted a black accent, and I don't know why I did a black accent, but after that, I was like, I don't think I could do stand up, dude.
That's why I love Sam and stand up, because there is like this manipulation of words. But anyway, the point is, it's like this like a spoken word thing going out, and you're using it. You're prophesying. You're manipulating. You're sending vibes through the air. Vibes,
casting spells. But very gay. But telepathy is something different. That's like mind speak, and we see that a lot with the topic that we came here to talk about today, actually. And people are fascinated by it. So they're like, "Oh my God, they're speaking directly into my mind. This must be some kind of advanced technology. This must be some kind of something." And it's like, advanced being. And it's like, no, I think it's quite the opposite. I think that the being is I think it's a rudimentary way of communication. It's something that we were probably doing in the Tower of Babel before God confused the languages and spread everybody apart, because you're kind of not supposed to do this and be of one mind, one accord. But that's kind of what telepathy is. And when we're getting contact from these entities, whether they be aliens, demons, whatever they're always doing it that way. Yeah, they're communicating telepathically. Yeah, cryptids, people will encounter Bigfoot, it's mind speak. Aliens, it's mind speak. But, you know, before we get onto the whole tangent, I never thought about that. Sam's talking about like the spoken word was how you used to pass down information, right? And I've often looked at myself as stupid because I don't read. I cannot lock in to read. But I have all this information in my head. I have information retention for me comes by way of conversation.
Yes.
So if I discuss something with somebody, I'm highly likely to retain, remember, and be able to, you know, integrate that into my worldview or whatever in the future. If you sit me down and try to read a book, dude, an impossible task. And I've been left to wonder, like, am I retarded? But I think Sam just bailed me out, where it's like, there's old factory settings where information was passed down through the spoken word for generation after generation, long before the written word was. So I think I just got bailed out.
I'm the same. I can't like read a book. It's always, I always get distracted. But one thing that helped me, at least, I remember doing this in elementary, they would give you an audiobook, but they would still give you the book. You're reading, but you're not really reading, you're listening, but you're it helps me way better when I want to, like, pretending to read. You're pretending to read. Like, I was pretending to read. And that's how I because you're at the same time you're watching, you're not getting distracted, because when you're just hearing, you get distracted by TV or whatever going on. But if you get the book and you put the audiobook on and you play, even with kids, they get tuned in more and they'll love to learn, because now someone's kind of reading, but you're reading at the same time. You're looking at the words.
I'm going to try that.
You're lurking.
It really worked out for him, the lurking.
You should try that, though. I think it would help.
Before we get into it, I want to give you guys a chance. Pin what you want to say. Where can they find you guys?
Oh, that we don't care about that. No. Guys, you can find us anywhere you find podcasts, Nephilim Deathsquad, except for Rumble. We don't fuck with Rumble anymore.
Oh, word?
Yeah, and no particular reason. We just constantly need somebody to have a grudge against, and so right now it's Rumble. But yeah, you can find us anywhere you want merch, toplobster.com. We record nearly every day, sometimes 2 episodes a day. If you want the freshest content, it's not going to be YouTube. It's not going to be the RSS feed. It's going to be patreon.com/Nephilim Deathsquad.
Also, a fun plug. We're at the Standard Coffee Shop.
Oh, yeah.
Florida. So if you come
do you guys own that? Is that your coffee shop?
No, we partnered with the guy that owns it. So the front half is a coffee shop. The entire back area is NDS Studios.
It's a Christian library. We have a studio here. We have 3 studios in here.
Technically 4. We have 4 shots. But yeah, 3 studios in this place. So, but if you come by Standard Coffee Shop in Lady Lake, Florida, dude, you can come and see us. Our doors are open. We get fans all the time. We've even drug them in for episodes. We've done episodes with them.
Cool shit like this, knickknacks, whatever I've made. You know, people come by. Yeah, come by and see us. It's like that's what we're doing. This like it's a spoken word kind of speakeasy thing.
Yeah,
where you come in, we talk to you about crazy shit. You grab a coffee, maybe read the Bible back there. It's a strange mix of things that we're doing here.
Just don't stab us.
Well, stop saying that.
Remember, Sam? We almost did that. Remember, we looked.
Not
at that
in LA,
shop.
dude.
Yeah, we thought about it. There was a coffee shop that was for sale.
Yeah,
and we were looking for a studio, and I went by there, checked it out. It was small, but it would have been.
Interesting.
You're gonna get
what we got?
attacked by
We're a Legion of Skanks. It.
Well, we would have been arrested probably by now.
yeah, well, you get attacked by a transsexual Zimzer, and that's all she wrote. So you don't want any of that. Florida's real chill, so it's a good place to do
great, dude. If my kids weren't super young, I'd move them or just leave. But but no, I love my kids. But the point is that you guys are crushing it. You guys are really great, and you guys haven't hooked up with Greg Carlwood yet.
He's been on the show.
He came on the show once
a while ago.
I don't know if he enjoys our. It's an interesting mix. It's not for everybody. Being feverishly retarded but also loving the Lord is a crazy combination, and I think we're kind of aggressive in that way. And so I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe if we talk to Greg, he'd come back.
I thought
and
it was
hang.
a banger episode.
It was a great episode. I like
great.
Greg.
I mean, great. I feel like the conspiracy podcast realm is just on fire right now.
Oh, it's crushing. It's a great place to be. It's a great place for information too. You know, you were talking about that spoken word, and you know, we kind of did a number on destroying the narrative of mainstream media. And I know that within the community, if you focus on like a Cass Sunstein cognitive infiltration, like the guy that was part of the Obama administration talked about infiltrating conspiracy communities and planting sort of like talking heads to steer narratives and such. Like, yeah, sure. I think that happens here, but the problem is when you talk for 2 hours, 2.5 hours at a clip, how many episodes per week, if you're fake, it's going to show. It's going to show. So like, I know, yeah, there's probably feds in the space. There's probably fake ones in the space. But I think as far as the audience goes, what's winning right now is authenticity. And I think that really shines through. And it's hard to hide, dude. Hard to hide for 2 hours.
I guess let's do it backwards, because what you're talking about now is sort of how, like, that's why I reached out to you, Sam. I was like, we had an interesting interaction with somebody, and it wasn't just us being provocative like we always are. The guy actually kind of shot at us.
Yeah. Well, here, I'm gonna put this to the guys, and I'm gonna see if they think this is a shot.
Okay.
So there was a series of tweets made over and over again, and it was comments on a podcast, and it was basically this idea: if you think aliens are demons, you're an idiot. Now that was the real soft rollout. Eventually, it came to one pointed tweet, and the tweet was, if you get your alien information from Nephilim podcast, you're an idiot. Never go full retard. And I don't know if you're not talking about me.
You guys think that's a shot? I can't tell. Yeah, of course it's a shot.
That's a shot,
but
dude.
We're retarded. So
if you're talking about my people, at least, and I got to represent.
No, I mean, they deserve it.
They are retarded. But yeah, man. So, you know, this is the tweet that goes out. This comes from Timothy Alvarino. And, you know, we've had this back and forth with him. And he's a great guy. He's done some great research in the space. But he dresses like Indiana Jones. I think that's gay. So I wanted to make fun of him. Because, you know, we're doing subliminals. This is like a hip hop battle, right? So I went out and I got an Indiana Jones outfit off Amazon. And I got a whip. And I started making these crazy clips where I'd be whipping at the camera and it would say, if you think aliens are demons, you're retarded. So eventually that got on his radar and he goes, do you want to talk about this or do you want to act like children? He did it immediately. Yeah. And I go, I don't know why you think this tweet's about you. And, you know, so from there it gets a little bit, we go back and forth, but he challenges me to a debate. And I don't know, man, it just got weird. It seems like whether or not Albarino's really doing this, there's a real effort. And he's in lockstep with it. So whether or not he's doing it maliciously or he's just got bad information, I don't know. But there's an effort to steer the narrative right now because we're going towards disclosure.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, he's also trying to tear down people like Gary Wayne and a couple of others in our space that tote a certain narrative. And the narrative is aliens look a lot like demons, or at least their nature is demonic. Maybe their backstory will come from something like, these ancient gods that have remasked themselves and rebranded.
Sure.
So on our show, we're constantly poking at that. And we're looking at that from every angle. We're studying all different, from Michael Heiser's work to Gary Wayne's recent work to even L.A. Marzulli.
We're also studying abductee testimony.
Yeah.
And over again, what's happened is like, this is where it gets a little bit weird, because if you really look at this phenomenon, there is so much. We're in the pattern recognition game, right? That's what it is to be a conspiracy theorist, is you recognizing patterns. The patterns between a demonic encounter and an alien abduction scenario are fucking nearly a one-to-one.
Yeah.
So for you to sit back, for anybody to sit back, this goes for anybody in the space who's saying that, and they go, this is just Christians who have a limited worldview and they don't understand this phenomenon. I understand the phenomenon. This is, benign space homies from a highly advanced civilization who are concerned with our destruction via nuclear war, and they're going to fucking intercede on our behalf, and they're going to help humanity ascend. It's like, hey, homo, I've been there already. We've already been through that shit. This thing, it has these patterns that are Christian podcast. This is the Christian podcast, identical to demonic encounter. And why is that? And the fact that exists at all should be a huge point of research. We should all be focused on that and going, why is this thing happening? Why are the patterns so similar? But instead we're getting ridiculed as if being a Christian is synonymous with being uneducated or not being able to do your own research. But you have a hybrid in us, which is conspiracy and Christianity.
What I think is important is what I believe you guys are doing. I know this is what I do, and it's like keep my head on a swivel. Like I am not attached to any one position. Like I'm like, this is what I think it is.
Yeah.
It could be this, but this is what I think it is. And when you get attached to one position and you kind of stake your name on that, if it comes out not real, you lose everything. So I think it's important because we're trying to solve crimes in the dark here. That's really what we're doing. You're trying to solve a crime in the dark. And nobody's working with you, so it's like you're trying to solve a crime that is purposefully hidden from you. So,
yes.
So it gets really hard to go, this is definitively what the answer is. You go, this is what I think it is, but definitively you never know. And so what I want to get into, you guys, because you talked about like feds in the space, I do shows with people that hate Candace Owens, hate Tucker Carlson. And again, I'm not staking my name on either of them, but the whole thing is like Candace gets everything wrong. She's been wrong about everything. And I go, well, if you take a look at Candace and where she's at, and then you take a look at Ben Shapiro or Dan Bongino and like where they're at, you could tell one person's totally wrong and one person, I mean, their show keeps growing. Now, does that mean she's not controlled op? That doesn't mean anything. But it means that a lot of stuff she has to be talking must be resonating with people, to the point that there must be some truth to it that people still keep tuning in. Because when you fake the funk out of Nasty Dunk over and over and over and over and over again, you lose your crowd. Bongino has no ability to save himself from going over this cliff because his whole answer is, you are the... And he's yelling at his own crowd. And I'm like, that's not how you do it at all, dude. You should be slobbing all their knobs, begging them to stay. But he's not doing that. And he just keeps losing. And then Ben Shapiro is so obvious. Like, if you listen to Ben Shapiro, you got real problems, man. You got some real problems. What are your guys' thoughts on those two? I mean, obviously, they're getting more eyeballs than anybody else in the space. That is a red flag. But is everything they're saying controlled opposition?
I think number one, put some respect on it's Deputy Director Dan Bongino.
Okay.
I'll have you know. And I think that Ben Shapiro is being controlled, piloted by his eyebrows. I think it's a parasitic creature that lives on his forehead. I mean, look, these guys. I like Candace actually.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have much to say about Ben Shapiro or Dan Bongino. This is the obvious.
They're cringy.
Yeah, this is the obvious cringe op, and it's just like I don't really find a need to pay attention to it because it's just it's very superficial.
Sure.
Candace Owens is an interesting one.
She's fun.
She's fun. She started kind of strange. Everybody knows her back history, like starting like a censorship program and coming from the left and then working her way through Daily Wire, yada, yada. But like I watch her trends and the conversations that she has, and not just the conversations that she has, it's when she's having them. So early January, she's like Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk. And then she goes, I'm going to do a week on fucking Nimrod.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that, dude. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you're going to do a week on Nimrod at the same time? Like the Daily Wire is dropping like, Nephilim. So I'm like, okay, where did the message come from? And then they're off of it.
Yeah.
And then they're moving in a different direction again. And I'm just like, I think the information is correct, but it leads me to wonder.
A lot of it is, and a lot of it isn't, right?
Yeah, some of it. Yeah.
Who did we talk to recently said the problem is she's talking about real things, but she's taking the most fantastic angle. We tried to talk to Gray Area Monarch, but he ended up having his internet issues. And I thought that was a valid point. It's like if you're going to talk about things that are important, but get a lot of the ideas sensationalized, it takes away the seriousness from it. Now, we're guilty of that to a large degree, but if you watch us and you get your information from us, you're just as retarded as we are. But these people, I like them. So like Alex Jones is a good example. People don't like when I say this, but like Alex Jones has said that his family is like CIA and stuff like that. And like, is it likely that he's a Fed? I don't know. It could be. I really like the guy though. Don't idolize people. You know what I mean? Like if I follow Candace Owens and she falls, I'm going to fall. If I follow Alex Jones and he falls, I'm going to fall. So I don't look at these people as like the great big Fed nightmare that everybody thinks that they are. I look at them for what they are. They're flawed human beings just like I am. They got some fun information. If you tune in, you might learn something, have some discernment and figure out like what's real, do your own research. But, you know, this idea that everybody out there, even Dan Bongino or Ben Shapiro,
he's literally a Fed though.
He's an actual Fed, Sean Ryan. But like, you know, these people are the boogeyman. They're the big bad Fed boogeyman. It's like, dude, they're just human beings. Maybe they've got some backers or something like that. But at the end of the day, like I don't follow any man. I don't put anybody in a higher position than I am. We're all equally shit as far as I'm concerned. I don't mean that in like a terrible way. Like we're all terrible. I just mean like we're just humans here for 80 years if we're lucky. Somebody puts a little bit of money in your pocket and you go and espouse a narrative. I don't know. I've dodged that before. I made a career out of dodging that. You know, this is what I do is I sleuth through information and I try to find what's viable. And if something changes, I'll get rid of something that doesn't work anymore. So yeah, man, Candace Owens, I think is fun. I like when Dan Bongino does karate. You know, that's really cool.
He does the retarded karate?
He does the retarded karate. I like every time, you know, Ben Shapiro gets on stage and he thinks that we don't notice that he's added an extra layer of hair to his eyebrow, like what we did notice. And I think that's fucking really fun, actually. I don't know, man. I'm just not the type of person that gets so hopped up about the feds in our space. Like, don't follow a man. How about that? And you'll be just fine.
It's crazy to me that his sister got all the talent. Like,
oh, you mean her breasts?
Oh, dude, they're just giant, dude. And everything about him says tiny. And those are just the biggest things in the world, dude.
There isn't some leaked photos of her?
Yeah, but people say they're AI. They say, but you know, you bring up a great point. And again, like Sean Ryan's very interesting because there was a short time where like he was putting out stuff. Everyone's going, "What is this, dude?" You know, like when he had that woman on, that woman who looks like she loves to teach PE class, right? And she's there's just sleeper cells of Islamic jihadists in here. And like that narrative, I'm not saying there aren't, but it's like, where's the hidden hand in that? And it always leads to Zionism. And like to not talk about that when everyone in your space knows that is going on. It rings hollow, but he seemed to move off that. Like he seems to be the one guy that looked like he was teetering over the edge and would lose the credibility, that has pulled it back and read the room, read the tea leaves, read all that stuff and mixed it up. So whatever you want to say about him, he shows up out of nowhere. He's a former, you know, Navy SEAL or whatever group he was in. But he's more self-aware than a lot of the other ones, like a Ben Shapiro who can't do it because it's one way up.
Former CIA.
Guys, are you following the crypto market? Bitcoin's up a little bit again, dude. All right. My one coin called Retire shot up, okay? You guys got to know when to get into these coins. How are you supposed to find the coins? One coin, one person only. James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? Yeah, it makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. But here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or to make money like so many have. The copymycrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You just simply copy along. So let me tell you about James, okay? He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has like 100,000 followers on it, like subscribers. It's unbelievable. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put in $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay? That one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go on YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the over 3,000 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head right over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Okay? Yes, you missed out on Bitcoin. That's fine. You can even get a little piece, but don't even worry about that. But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time, okay? Go to the site and read it for yourself. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/tinfoil hat. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. And we thank him for sponsoring the show. Guys, if you're like me, you got a family you got to take care of. And what happens if you're gone, okay? You got to make sure they're set up, and there's one way to do that, and that is life insurance. And that's why you guys got to check out our good friends at Ethos. Let me tell you about Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exams. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage, okay? Some policies are as low as $30 a month. Ethos has a 4.8 of 5-star on Trustpilot and over 3,000 reviews. So here's what we need you to do. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/tinfoil. That is ethos.com/tinfoil. Application times and rates may vary, and we thank them for sponsoring the show.
Let me ask you, Sam, because that's like something that I always wonder. And you're in like this, how you know these people like that are doing moving and shaking. Why is it, in your opinion, that when they're clearly on the wrong side of it and they're paying for it too, like they're losing their audience left and right? They're the guy that just debated Dave Smith. It's like it's incredible to watch him do that.
Oh, Adam, whatever his name is,
from Patrick. Yeah, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, he dug his own grave and then laid down in it, and then he retweeted the videos. And I'm just kind of like, why are you doing this? He's not retarded. He's not like a dumb guy. You know that what you're saying is unpopular, and you know it's incorrect because you don't even have any good points for it. But they continue. They just double down. It's like I can't understand why.
I think maybe it has something to do with like, and I kind of respect this. When the crowd comes for you, you go, F you. Like I kind of like that. I don't know if that's what's happening here, but I just know there has been times where the internet has come for me, and I've gone, F you, and I've stood my ground. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to take some shit back.
They're coming for you. Like a lot of this is still supporting Trump. So
sure. Okay.
They're still like they're going to ride this train. I'm like, there's really no benefit in it. I don't understand why you're still doing this. Just you're going to be irrelevant.
One of two things. It's either they've been programmed so hard that that's still how they see it, or they've taken so much money they can't come back. And it's like it's so much money that they got to ride off the cliff, dude. It's like you can't take all that. I mean, it's the Charlie Kirk shit. Like you can't take all that money and then decide I'm out. And it's not just Charlie Kirk. It's Michael Jackson. It's to a point Louis C.K. It's all these rappers that have been killed. Like if you take that banker money and they get you to a certain level, you can't go, I'm going off reservation, do my own thing. You know, we had a guy on Cash Daddies from Hatebreed, And he was talking about how he's thinking about live streaming all of his concerts to his website. And someone goes, well, you better cut them in on that because they're not going to be happy about that. And that sounds like a fucking threat to me. And maybe it wasn't that much of a threat, but that's some real shit. I mean, once you get blown up. So Adam is on this show, and, you know, that show, who knows why Patrick Bet-David is where I think Patrick Bet-David is like a lot of these conservative content creators. They were killing it when everyone was mad at the non-binaries. You know, it's and just like that are the 90s New York City comedians who all rage. You know, they were on Opie and Anthony, and they all raged against censorship and all that shit. But both of those groups have an inability to realize that the political environment has shifted, right?
Yeah.
And it's like with the 90s New York City comics, they don't realize that so much of the censorship was coming from the left for a very long time. But they are still railing against the right because that's what they were just programmed to do. Same thing with these guys. If you take all that money, all these people that, and you're a boomer, like you've been told that Israel is our ally, Israel's from the Bible, Israel's all that, you have no ability to change the way you look at the world. And it's like, if you're in my age or something and you can change that view, even though I was never like, Israel is of the Bible, and never that stuff, so it wasn't that hard. But if you can actually adapt your point of view, that's a very powerful thing to do. But it's either you took too much money or your wiring is too strong and you just can't break out of it.
I think that there's a different type of phenomenon we're seeing taking place. Like, I know we had like the $7,000 from Israel, stint that happened for a while there. And, but I think that, as far as like being a Fed, if we're talking about that kind of a scenario, I think the best asset is an unknowing asset. And I think that what they do more so than pay off people, which of course happens, but I think, we might be underestimating everybody in this space, in this, conspiracy space, the planting of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
If you could plant an idea that's compelling enough, if it's really close to the truth, but it's a little bit off in some key details, and somebody who's looking for the truth grabs onto that and starts running with it, and then that becomes popular and organic and viral on its own.
Well, it's not just that. Like I said on the show before, it's incentivized. You're being incentivized to do a thing. Like
sure.
It's happened to me. I was partially incentivized, like, hey, come here, host this show. Do this. It's the nightly show for me. And it's like, I realized immediately, like, oh, this is a tryout. And it's a tryout that I'm not interested in. So I did Tower Gang on it, and it was a disaster. And I said, hey, thanks, man. Never again. But like that, people get presented that, and then they take that, and then you get presented the next thing, which is bigger. And I think
so. It's not explicit. It's not like, here's a contract, sign it, run with this narrative. It's just like, hey, do what we want. Yeah. If we see you doing the right dance, we might put a little money your way. Yeah. And if that keeps happening, that's a good system. It's like,
hey, cancel that comedian.
Right.
So you could do this show here. And it's just always, the answer should always be no.
Yeah.
Got to practice saying no, f you.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening right now too in this whole, like, we've been talking about this whole alien thing, and I can see this happening in the space. It wasn't that long ago that there was this unironic rise in paganism, and ironic rise in paganism. People would get like runic tattoos, or they would be like Wiccan or some shit like that. And eventually I think that went from like a LARP to like a real thing. Like right now on X, on Twitter, there are a bunch of real pagans, real Wiccans and such coming out of the woodwork. And they're kind of like in lockstep with this alien disclosure thing. Maybe they think it's like they're ascended masters, or they think it's Atlanteans, or they think it's Pleiadians, or whatever the deal is. But they're getting like this big reciprocal, sort of what would you call that? Dopamine dump every time they post something like that, because disclosure is like in the news. This doesn't always have to be financial, right? Because disclosure's in the news, because the Trump administration's talking about doing it. You had the Age of Disclosure documentary came out. Now Spielberg is doing like a big disclosure film, which I'm going to watch because it looks like it crushes. Every time you tweet about aliens now, it's like to the tune of 10s, 20, 100,000 views and all these shares and everything. And really it's almost exclusively through the New Age lens. So it doesn't even have to be like financial reciprocal. It doesn't even have to be putting money in your pocket. Maybe you can get paid for some tweets a little bit here and there, you know, if you get an X payout. But like really, it just has to be that dopamine thing. Likes and shares and comments are enough of an incentive to make people feel like they're on the right path.
We saw this op run on Eliza Blue a long time ago. Shane Cashman was the only person to get it right, in my opinion. That was like a gang stalking technique that happened, and this was before X monetization. So there was like a group of people that were formed against Eliza Blue, and it was an inorganic movement, but there's real people mixed up. And then all of a sudden, boom, all these inorganic bots or whatever they were are pulled out, and the people who were bashing her are left holding this bag, and they're like, hey, where are all my likes at? And
Yeah.
Gone.
You told me that. You said people were getting like hundreds of thousands of hits tweeting against this chick.
Yeah.
And then all at once it stopped.
Now they're like following a pattern of behavior that wasn't natural for them, but they were incentivized in a way to do it. Aliens is that right now.
Yeah, I would say Aliens is that right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like the big debate is that, like we were talking about before, you know, are aliens demons, are aliens demonic? And one of those viewpoints is like ridiculed. Like if you think that they're demonic, you're getting ridiculed. You're getting made fun of for this like old time thinking. And the other one is just celebrated, dude. It's celebrated. Like these are Pleiadians. These are Insectolins. These are the tall grays. These are, you know, your higher selves. We're going to ascend. This is some Galactic Federation of Light shit.
But it's also celebrated by government actors. Which is like, this is the part that starts to really raise the alarms for us, and we start talking about it a lot more in an aggressive manner, because you have guys like Lou Elizondo out there, and I mean people that are in Congress, and they're talking about aliens, they're talking about disclosure, but they're all talking about it from one angle, and that is this new age angle. One of our favorite people, Chris Bledsoe, actually, and again, I don't know if this guy's a government actor, but
he might be. I don't know what's up with Chris. Are you guys familiar with the Bledsoes?
Came out about him. And I love the Bledsoes. I sent you it.
I didn't see
something about he was like a slumlord or something like that.
He wasn't a slum. I don't want to say. It's funny to say that, and I will say it. But just for nuance.
For record, I love the Bledsoes, but I was like, I even wrote, "Who is Chris Bledsoe?" I go, "It can't be our Chris Bledsoe," and they're like, "Yeah, it is, dude."
How do you get into that? By the way, that sounds like
there was a big news article. There was like a news report on.
No, I just mean that sounds like good business. What
does that mean, Johnny?
I've always wanted to be a slumlord.
Really?
Like, I aspire to own some property.
How does one do that?
And just not take care of it, let your tents live in filth. I'm not saying that's what he did, but it came out of nowhere, and it was like very weird to see.
That is
weird.
He was a contractor, and he let a bunch of his bids, or I guess some of his employers. He let their houses just fall into disarray, never really finished a job. At least this is what they're saying. That's the claim. But it's interesting because it's around 2009. And when you go back and you look at his history, 2009 is kind of when he started. 2006 is when he claimed, 6 or 7, when he claimed first contact with some entities, these orbs. 2012 is when he gets a prediction from the lady that tells him about all the shit that's happening right now, today. It pinpointed to actually April of 2026, which I'm glad that we're here talking about it now.
It's the most fun shit in the world. Look at those guys, him and his son, and I like them. And I think they seem like good dudes. Yeah, they seem like genuinely like sweet dudes. I think he had a real experience, and I think the experience was so profound that he's galvanized to it in a really huge way. And I don't think he wants to consider the idea that this entity that he's interacting with or has interacted with, that has given him prophecy that has come to pass, is deceptive in its nature. He even calls this thing Mother Mary, the Queen of Heaven. He calls it the Holy Spirit. He calls it Isis, Ishtar. There's verses in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, where it talks about the Queen of Heaven and women giving offerings to the Queen of Heaven and stirring up God's anger. It's a negative thing. And if you look into the modern day interpretation of the Queen of Heaven, biblical scholars will tell you this is likely Isis or Ishtar. So it's a fallen false god. And it's literally what this thing is identifying itself to Chris Bledsoe as. And it's telling him that it is in alignment with Jesus. But in the Bible, it talks about this deceptive spirit called the Queen of Heaven that is likely Ishtar. And this thing is like, yeah, dog, I'm Ishtar. Like, it's telling him that it's Ishtar, and he doesn't want to hear any of this shit. And look, to be honest, imagine what a great deception it must be. You have this thing. It's amazing. You spend half of your, I don't want to say career, but like your experience trying to convince people that it's even real and everybody's telling you you're an asshole.
2012 to 2026.
Yeah.
That's a
And then
long
once
time.
you finally do convince people that it's real, now they're telling you, yeah, it's a deceptive spirit. So if you're him, he's locked in. He's like, no, f you, dude. You told me this wasn't even real.
Yeah.
Now you're going to tell me the nature of it. Meanwhile, it's telling him that Israel and Iran are going to have a war. And when the war happens, we're going to be inundated by orbs that are going to come out of the ocean.
Which is happening.
What?
And then also, yeah, dude.
dude.
Fucked up. It's the best shit ever, bro. so
Do you
it's
guys
also
hear about
telling
the
them.
orbs out of the water? Johnny, thoughts?
I mean, I've just heard someone say that.
More
but I
than
don't-
usual.
Just right now or
No,
before?
no.
More than
Yeah.
usual.
more orbs than usual.
Yeah, because they usually they have the ones that the military claims to be always coming out of the ocean, but we're talking more
Yeah.
than usual. Like you can see them
Yeah,
from
more
the
than usual.
you can see them from the pier. If
Really?
you wanted to, can you? That's what I'm asking.
Is
Can
that
you
your
see 'em?
standard for orbs? Like you have to
Yeah.
be able to see them from the pier.
Well, because if we're seeing them more, we
You want to go down and vlog on
no.
this pier.
All I'm
That's
saying,
what you want to do.
if we're seeing them more, they have to be visible, and they can't be in the middle of the ocean. Usually, when
Yeah,
they're
but that doesn't mean that we can see it. They could be boats out there seeing weird shit, satellites seeing weird shit. I'm not
well,
saying
I
we
mean,
haven't seen
there have
it.
been a ton of reports more lately on social. Of,
Well,
I mean, my sister,
comments
dude,
in
my
LA,
sister saw
I mean,
it, bro.
in California, comments for sure.
My sister saw
Yeah.
the three spheres thing, and like just last week on the farm, dude. Like,
oh, jeez.
What do you mean, Johnny?
just that light, the typical
Sister got abducted?
TR3B thing that
the triangle,
the triangle with the three lights, and then there was a fourth light that kind of moved around a little. It was stable in the sky for a few minutes and then just
Well,
vanished.
to Johnny's point, like, yeah, this stuff has been on social media a lot lately, but I don't know if that is verification or if this is like, people are talking about orbs, so there's a viral, connotation to it. So if you post orbs, you're going to get big hits, and we don't know when the orbs are from. If I'm being honest, like you don't know when the hell this happened.
My sister's as unplugged to social as you can be, and she just sent me a little video of it. She was going out to do chores, farm shit, and she kind of freaked her out.
Yeah, there's
Johnny,
been
you're handsome.
Yeah, right. Look at Johnny. There's been meteors too, right? So Sam said like comets over California. It's not just California. It's like over Ohio, and a bunch of other places,
Turkey.
Texas. And one of them that happened over Texas. This thing like comes down, dude, and it corkscrews and turns up and goes in a different direction.
Yep.
So, but like, look, my thing. I'm going to be honest. As much as I love that gets my conspiracy boner going. Like, I don't know what that's from, what year that's from. Like, I don't know. It's the internet. It's a crazy place.
Yeah.
AI is nuts. Yeah. So,
Well, what we do know, though, is that a guy in 2012 was saying that orb sightings will uptick after there is a war started with Israel and Iran. There's a prophecy of nuclear bombs going off in the upper.
specifically, it's the star Regulus or Regulus. I haven't figured out how to pronounce it. I've only read it. I've never heard it phonetically pronounced. So Regulus is going to turn red and align with the Sphinx. This is what the lady told Chris Bledsoe. It's going to align with the Sphinx in Egypt, and it's going to be red. Come to find out, that's a real thing that is going to take place. Astronomers, astrologists, whichever word applies here, the one that's not gay, the one that is just like star, gazing.
They're both gay.
They're both gay. All right, fine. Well,
Which one's
whichever.
gayer?
I don't know. The one where it controls your life. That one's the real gay one.
The one that white women do.
The one with that white chicks and the crystals and the smell bad. So this is actually going to happen. This is a real phenomenon, and it's set to take place April 6th. And when that happens, the lady told them basically there's going to be this massive uptick. It's going to escalate to nuclear war, and the orbs are going to intercede, which I don't doubt is going to happen. You guys know probably as well as we do, being a conspiracy show and doing this for as long as you have, there is a never-ending treasure trove of incidents where UFOs or orbs have interceded in some sort of nuclear, facility. They shoot lasers, they disarm this, they do that. There was a guy that came out recently, high-ranking military official, in an interview said he's aware of up to like 600 to 700 cases of this taking place that like the public wasn't made privy to over the last, I don't know how many years. I don't know what the time frame was, but he's aware of 600 to 700 cases. So it fits the narrative that's taking place. I think we're likely going to see that, but in my opinion, we're going to get a little, Albert Pike, when the people need a hero, we'll provide one for them kind of a deal. We're going to get a Hegelian dialectic. A scenario will happen, and the public will react, and then a hero will present itself, a solution will present itself. I think it's going to be fucking disclosure.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have so much going on all at the same time, and like we find ourselves sort of in the middle of it in the discussion of what's the nature of these things. So as we're having a debate about what the nature of these things are, we have government assets that are talking about the UFO, the craft. We have congressmen that are talking about huge buried UFOs somewhere in Korea.
They're talking about propulsion sources too, zero-point technology, etc.
We have the president and the former president, well, not Joe Biden, but Obama, for no reason at all, brings up aliens for no reason. Trump bails him out, but it almost looks like volleyball being
100%, dude. That was pro wrestling at its best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, that's very clear. Like, conspiracy theorists can look at that and see that and go, yeah, for sure. But the question always is, why now? Yeah. What are you about to do? Why are you guys doing this? And then there's rumors of Trump talking about disclosing. I think it would most likely be the technology, not necessarily aliens, but disclosing that around May 1st.
Yeah, they've actually put a date. His daughter kind of was the one that was leading that in conversations with reporters.
His daughter-in-law, yeah.
I actually had a tweet that was a little bit prophetic, but it was low-hanging fruit. So it was right after the Epstein files, the first 3.5K were released, or 3.5 million, were released from the DOJ. And I said, I always looked at the Epstein files as a plot device. I said, we're not going to get them until they're ready for whatever the next piece of theater is, the next scene. They're going to, shove those out to the public, and that's going to shake things up. And then a bunch of shit is going to follow like a domino effect. And so I said, when they released them, I'm looking out for three things: the collapse of the dollar, Israel versus Iran, and alien disclosure. And dude, I mean, that was like in January 26th or whatever it was when I don't know if it was that late, January 26th when they released those files. And since then, I mean, I'm almost batting 1,000. All we need is like a cyber attack or some shit like that that's going to collapse the economy. But as far as the Iran and Israel button and the alien disclosure thing, every day it just gets more and more ramped up. So some people go, is the disclosure a distraction from the Epstein files? I'm like, I don't think so. I appreciate the critical thinking there. I don't think that's what it is, though. I think this is a scene change, dog. This is like we're laying out these big elements on the table. If you want to take an Alex Jones, one world order kind of a thing where everything falls apart and is reconsolidated, like this is a massive step in this direction. It's not just, look over here while the Epstein files disappear thing. Like it's a little bit deeper than that this time, I think.
Well, I mean, the it's very weird to me. I know that Eddie Bravo had that prediction, right, where he's like, I think they're going to start World War III before they'll deal with the Epstein files. But I'm going back to prophecy. Like the Iran war has been like they've been wanting this for 30 years. The question is why now? What is it about now? And I got asked that last night on Deep Waters, but I go, I think Trump is part of this prophecy stuff. Like on the last episode about the shooting of the cutting of the ear with the blood. And then the things you said about Charlie Kirk, and basically, I mean, it will make you realize that goy is a slur.
How long do you think Trump's known because he knows he's part of the prophecy, right? Or you think he's oblivious? And
he's 100% playing the role.
When do you think he became or he knew he was part of the prophecy?
From the beginning.
From the beginning of the first election? I'm saying from the first election?
Before that. I mean, even like they say the military asked him to run. I mean, who's in control of our military, dude? I mean, these Zionists. But it even goes back to why the Rothschilds bail him out. Are these books from the 1800s real, or is that some weird AI going back and planting stuff in the past? It's so advanced. I mean, like, who fucking knows?
Or him being a time traveler. There's that one still. They're like, oh, he's a time traveler.
I mean, that guy, Ingersoll Lockwood, he's got music too. Like we were looking because we thought the same thing. I'm like, what are the fucking odds, dude, that this just pops up on the radar 2016, 17, whatever it was, like real big 2018, 2019.
It's kind of like the Dead Sea Scrolls popping up in 1947.
Along with everything else.
You don't believe the Dead Sea Scrolls. You think that's all like PSYOP
I don't know.
I mean, it seemed real.
I like the Book of Enoch, but I'm like, this is super suspicious to me. Like 1947 is a weird time. World War II is coming to an end. Operation Paperclip, CIA gets made, MK Ultra gets kicked off. Like this fucking year from like 47 to the early 50s, like that chunk of time right there, that's a massive shakeup.
That's when 1984 was written as well. Like written in 47, released in 48. So it's like a lot of shit.
And
It's a weird time, man.
Little Baron Trump looks just like Trump.
It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like they could draw it looking anyway. He's got the same eyes, the same nose, and the same like smile. It's like really crazy, dude. So if you go, how long do you know? Probably a lot part of his life. I mean, his uncle goes into Tesla's apartment.
You're right, yeah.
Grabs that. I mean, like he's always been like the fact that you look back at what we were sold on and it becomes laughable, dude. Yeah. Like, Obama, like change, outsider. You're like, dude, he's a Bush. And then you have like, Trump is like, he's not Washington, but he's New York City real estate, which is just as corrupt as Washington, D.C. And he's, like, dude, that's some serious Zionist shit right there. And I've always said, I just think this was like the New York City Jewish real estate mafia moving in and trying to take over Washington. Or this is all prophecy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who knows?
That's a hard one, man, because it's very obvious. You're looking at like the Zionists and and it's like, okay, yeah, there's this attempt to fulfill prophecy or create prophecy. You have like the whole red heifers thing and the third temple and all that other crap. And like, I don't know, I was talking about it today and I'm like, as far as biblical prophecy goes, even if this is manufactured, it's so global that it almost seems unlikely that the Bible wouldn't have mentioned a global fake prophecy first and then the fulfillment of real prophecy. And I don't know, I mean, maybe there's some
prophecy have to be real, or I mean,
if a man makes it, is it because it's like, all right, you think about even the horsemen of the apocalypse.
That's what we were talking about. We growing up believed that the prophecy was a natural happening occurrence, that it would be over time. And I never fathomed that it would be these chabad dudes, in every position, working the levers like they're stagehands on a production of a play. Guys, listen, you listen. You love your family, you love your kids, but guess what else you love? Your pets, your dogs, okay? And dude, they can get allergies, and that is wild times. And that's why we got to tell you about our good friends at Better Wild and their vet-designed approved supplements for your pups' allergies and overall wellness. Let me tell you about Better Wild. Hey guys, your dog's health is just as important as your health, and that's why we love our friends at Better Wild, okay? Listen, I've been focusing a lot on my health lately, but then it hit me that I should probably be putting the same energy into my dog's health too, okay? You'll start to notice weird behaviors. Like my dog is like itching and scratching and rubbing sometimes. Roger's slowing down and not wanting to play as much. And I go, listen, these are not normal dog behaviors. They really are actually signs of allergies, okay? What I've learned is that allergies in dogs often start in the gut when things get out of balance internally. It can show up everywhere and anywhere in issues with their skin, ears, digestion, and energy. Just like us, dogs need good bacteria to strengthen their gut health and calm an overactive immune system. That's what led me to Better Wild Allergy Relief Soft Chews. They designed to support your pet's allergy defenses by strengthening digestion and helping restore balance from the inside. They're the first and only chews with ancestral advantage wolf probiotics and natural ingredients proven to help reduce itching and support gut immune and skin health, okay? So instead of just covering things up, you're actually supporting your dog at the source. And we all love our dogs, and we want them to be as healthy as they can be. And this is a great way. Dogs would eat anything. Hand them a beautiful Better Wild chewable chew. And dude, watch this dog get better. Watch its immune system and its gut get better, because that's what Better Wild does, okay? Better Wild is committed to helping your dogs with clinically proven, veterinarian-approved solutions that you can feel great about, okay? Right now, Better Wild is offering our listeners up to 40% off your order at betterwild.com/tinfoil. That's betterwild.com/tinfoil for up to 40% off your order. betterwild.com/tinfoil. And we thank them for sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
Well, think about the prophecy of Jesus Christ coming back, like the book of Isaiah. It's all mentioned there kind of specifically, but when it comes to pass, all of the don't recognize it. So like we're seeing this same sort of thing, like prophecies coming to pass, and we're like, this can't be it because it's supposed to happen, but it doesn't mention how it's supposed to happen. It just says that these things happen.
Yeah.
John the Revelator was seeing them and he was like, oh shit, like all that stuff is happening.
And John wasn't like, there's like these kind of like these, crypto, and they're gonna
on a rooftop.
Yeah, it's like these 2 towers fall.
Well,
and
he
then
did
these,
talk
like,
about
these
the synagogue of Satan, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think about that all the time. I try to tweet about it, but it was one of the few phrases that X would not allow for a while. It was really crazy. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I've just come to this place now where the information is fun and I engage with it. But I have a lot of faith these days, and I don't lean on my own understanding because I see where it kind of goes. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched dudes who like they research so hard and then they're like, the God of this world is the demiurge and Jesus is a PSYOP and all this other shit. And I'm like, dude, once again, like we're here for 80 years, and the wisest man in the world was like King Solomon, and he f***ed up in a bunch of different ways, had some demons erect his, temple, if you believe that kind of extra canonical text.
Dude, it's my bit. Pussy is the greatest weapon of mass destruction, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that guy had 300 wives, 1,000 concubines, and he meets one pagan chick with fucking bomb-ass pagan pussy, and he's like, start sacrificing children, dude. And he got everybody I got the Israelites ran out of Israel, dude. Pagan
That's
pussy.
what I'm saying. So I'm like, are you wiser than Solomon? Like, I know that I'm not. And I know that there's a lot of shit that I've been really wrong in the past. I haven't been doing this on screen for this long, but I have been researching for 20 years. And by that, I mean, I was wrong about a bunch of shit over and over again. And then I'd be right about it, but only half right. And then I'd have to lose some shit over and over again. So, the idea that I'm going to lean on my own understanding and figure it all out, I don't think that's the case.
Actually, I was just thinking about Solomon, as you mentioned him. Interesting fact, he's the richest man in the world at the time. He received 666 talents of gold a year.
That's a lot of gold.
666, just very odd and interesting. Talents are like 75 pounds.
Well, that Franken stuff comes in, like 100, what's that, 1666 as well? That number comes up. The Frankenist guy, the guy who led the...
Isn't that also in the fucking Statue of Apollo or the Statue of Liberty? It's like 666,066 inches. Yeah. I don't know. What are the measurements on the Statue of Liberty? Like,
no, that's the Washington Monument.
Oh, the Washington Monument, the Osiris phallus. Yes. That's out front.
Everything's penis, dude.
Everything is penis, dude.
Everything's penis, dude.
We love that, though, man. Like, we love getting whatever the new narrative is, like, cooked up and delivered to us. And I think that, I was kind of talking about that cognitive infiltration shit before, where I think now the information is the thing that like sneaks in. It's not necessarily the paid fed that sneaks in, but it's the information itself gets cooked and passed out to you. And I think right now, because we've had this falling out with mainstream media, and then in the corners of the internet, people have been talking about the Galactic Federation of Light and all this other shit. People that believe in like aliens in the strictest sense of coming from space and having, a highly advanced technology, they're just falling for another PSYOP. This is my thing, is like nobody realizes, if you really stop and think where like alien came from, it comes from Hollywood, the propaganda machine, right? Like the vast majority of our understanding of what aliens are, sure, some of it comes from abductee experience. Some of it comes from channelers, new age channelers and shit. But most of it that the vast majority of the public is comfortable with comes from Hollywood, which is very strange, because I don't know where we all got off believing in Hollywood narratives. I look at Hollywood like it's a propaganda machine.
Because it is.
And then we have... NASA is a Nazi pioneered space program. It starts around the same time, right? This 1947 to the early 50s thing is like really huge in setting up all the apparatus that really screws us today. And I just don't understand. It's like these things, they rebrand. That's the MO. Even Chris Bledsoe's lady will say, well, I'm Mother Mary, I'm Isis, I'm Ishtar. It's telling you like I am all these different things. I had different names throughout different, peoples of antiquity.
Yes.
But that's what they do. They rebrand over and over again. Zeus in Greek mythology is the same entity as Baal Hadad of ancient Sumer. In my opinion, this is a fallen angel. I think that's what, we talked earlier before the show started. Where are you at? It's all demons and fallen angels, dog. Like the higher ranking ones are fallen angels. The lower ranking ones, if you believe the book of Enoch, they're the disembodied spirits of dead Nephilim. dead demigods, if that's what people are more comfortable with, if you're, pagan. But over and over again, what they do is they give you a new face to look at. They take a new name. And this face has been facilitated by Hollywood. This entire thing, this iteration is maybe the most PSYOP-y, because the previous generations didn't have a sophisticated propaganda machine that, generates billions of dollars or trillions of dollars annually, whatever it is, doesn't have great CG and compelling actors and everything. Like, this machine is well oiled. Probably the biggest one that human beings have ever stood against is the media. Yep. And it's been facilitating this facelift, this rebranding. Now everybody's sitting around talking about Space Brothers or fucking Pleiadians and everything. And it's like, nobody seems to be able to, and this is my thing with Chris Bledsoe too. It's like, hey dog, yeah, I believe you. I believe you had this experience. Did you fucking think maybe this thing's lying to you though? And for some reason, people can't put those two things together. It's like profound experience overwhelms the senses. And just by virtue of existing in a materialistic paradigm where they tell you it doesn't exist, just by virtue of existing, therefore everything it says is true. That's fucking crazy to me.
I forget what his name is. He's the guy who always talks about, people being possessed and everything. He's kind of got a new look. He used to come on with a hat, very serious, and now he's not serious. Like, there seems to be a light. He's changed his vibe. But he came on.
About Nathaniel Gillis?
Yes, Nathaniel Gillis.
Nathaniel. We just talked to him recently.
I like Nathaniel. But he brought up, he was talking about orbs and, they're demonic. So then, a week later, I get a call from somebody. They're like, Bledsoe's going to be, we're all going to meet somewhere in Texas and he's going to draw the orbs. And I'm like, I love Bledsoe. I ain't going. That stuff. Like, Johnny wants to go to his ranch or the thing. I want to see orbs. I'm not interested in it because it's just something I can't explain. Can't say it either way. And I told them, I think that stuff's demonic. They're like, it's not demonic. I go, I think it is. I've talked to a lot of guests. They say it's demonic shit. So I didn't go, and then ended up a bunch of people didn't go because they all got kind of spooked out. But I'm not, dude, my life is going really good right now. I mean, I have moments of chaos in my life. Like a couple days ago, if you watch me on Cash Daddies, I just dealt with wild things, and it was like, it took a real toll on my spirit. But outside of that, I'm doing great. I'm not going to go there and let something in, dude. And then I did speed. I was doing coke. I really do believe I kicked those demons out, dude. I think they were demons. You look at tweakers on the street, they look demonic to me. They look like they have entities in them. Dude, how many times you watch videos of drunk people just doing something that absolutely changes their lives?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. People in the new age, they have all this, it's kind of this plagued by gnosis. They think they know a thing and you don't know a thing, so you're an asshole. But when you pay attention to where these things first started, I know you guys have heard this, but I think it's a good place to start maybe this new age conversation. Crowley, he summons the first pretty much modern day visage of a gray in this entity called Lamb.
He does it by channel.
He does it through the Amalantra workings, which is sex magic, drug-induced trances, but it's channeling. It's channeling.
There's a lot of ways to get to where you're going. I wanted to mention, so I'll put a pin in that.
Sure.
Chris Bledsoe, to call on these orbs, and a lot of other people doing this, like Stephen Greer, they're using a technique most likely that is going to it's going to use something called binaural beats.
Yeah, the CE5 app.
The CE5 app. And binaural beats are just, they're two closely related frequencies because everything is frequency. This is a Tesla idea. Two closely related frequencies, but they're slightly off. Maybe we listen to 440 hertz right now. Maybe it's 439 and 440 playing at the same time. And the idea is that your brain perceives it as one thing, but instead of perceiving it as a musical note, you almost make up your own. So there's something in between that doesn't exist because you're syncing your both hemispheres of your brain.
Yeah, hemi-syncing technology.
Yeah, and there are specific frequencies to do this, which they have figured out. Problem with that is that you can call in orbs if you sleep with a fan.
Oh, yeah.
You get fucking sleep paralysis by binaural beat downing yourself.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about a little fan that makes it cooler or someone who loves
I do that. I do that.
So the humming of the fan.
Oh, you're not saying like a groupie.
No. I mean, you might be able to get beat down.
You get a hummer from fan. That's different. Yeah. Know what I'm saying? XG. Hell yeah, dude. No, like as the fan propeller moves, there's like a friction that's created, and that is like also playing off the electrical conduit of the fan itself. And there's something about that when you're sleeping next to it, you'll just sleep paralysis yourself. Vicky Joy Anderson was telling us about this. She was like, turn off the fan. Yeah. And you stop, and he did it, and he stopped getting sleep paralysis.
I had a thing the other day where I was like, I felt myself getting sleep paralysis, and I'm like, what the fuck is this happening, dude? And then all of a sudden I had this thing. I was like, it's the fan. I put in earplugs so I couldn't hear the fan. Stopped.
So these are the techniques that he's using, but you can get there a number of different ways. Butt sex is a good way. So
it's not a good.
Sex before sleep.
What was that?
Well, sex when? Like before you go to sleep?
No.
We're sleep paralysis?
We're talking about Aleister Crowley butt sex magic, dog.
Yeah, I think you got to have the butt sex. I'm not sure who has to do it, but like
at least half an hour after you eat. If you do it too soon, you'll get sleep paralysis.
There's something about the trauma. So like a mix between frequency, created trauma, channeling, which is going to be like, meditation, but like specific meditation, and then drugs, which are also a form of like changing your chemical frequency of your brain to perceive different things. So those are the ways to get there. They're implemented by the occult and also by the government.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Knows.
So Crowley says that, right? He does the Amalantra working, sex magic, drug-induced trances, like you just said, rituals, repetition, all that crap. He's quoted as saying, today they are known as angels and demons, which is fascinating. And he goes, tomorrow they'll be known as something else. So he is saying that the thing that's going to be known as, let's say aliens, was previously known as angels and demons, which people say early man didn't have a grasp, an understanding, so they use limited language. And I'm like, no, dude, I think they had a better idea of the nature of it. We're going to get into that, but it's like, if a thing constantly changes form, it fucking doesn't matter what it looks like. And it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is its nature. If I'm constantly putting on a different costume and you're like, one day that's Dave, the next day that's Bob, but my character is exactly the same, but I'm consistently putting on different costumes, all that matters is my character. All that matters is my nature, not the fucking costume that I'm wearing at the time.
That's why I tell trans. That's why I tell trans.
So would you say that every time someone got like the Holy Spirit visited them, it was an orb?
No, I don't think so. So that's the thing. A lot of people go like, well, what about the good angels, Raven? What about this? What about that? I'm like, all I know is the government is not about to disclose angels to you. They're not about to disclose Jesus Christ and the will of God to you. Well, they're about to disclose some other shit. So as for the orbs, I think it might be like a low-cost method of manifestation in this realm for a spiritual being, maybe it takes a lot to suddenly be here if you're like a lower-ranking spiritual being. I think if an angel shows up, you're going to fucking know. Because in the Bible, when they show up, people freak out, dude.
They fall down.
They're like, they have to constantly be like, don't be afraid. Quit being a bitch. I know it's a lot, but like, stop it. But they don't go like an orb floated into the room and I fucking figured out it was an angel.
If I could extrapolate on this, you don't have to take my word for it, but these things, if aliens or these entities are demons or of the demonic realm, so they do share a nature with fallen angels, then technically they're classified as the same thing. They should have the same properties, right?
Yeah.
So when people see an angel, he says, fear not, they fall down, they start worshiping, they say, don't worship me, just get up. I know I look crazy.
Yeah.
When you see a fallen angel, a lot of these properties happen as well. In the book of Job, I think chapter 4, maybe verse 11, he talks about sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
Like an entity coming over his face at night.
His bones trembling.
His bones. So there's like the paralysis and the vibration going on. And he's like, he's met with this like insatiable fear.
Yeah.
He can't understand why. This is a malevolent entity that comes over him at the point. But like when Daniel sees an angel as well, it's always like, damn.
I think part of the way you can tell, like if it's a malevolent thing, is like that absence of the fear not.
Well, you have to test the spirit, is what the Bible says, and I think that's the only way. But these things do share a nature with the good entities, and it's hard to differentiate. But that's why you have to test them.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with some crazy shit.
The Bible says two things. It says, number one, it says, do you confess that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, the Son of the living God? And if it confesses to that, then that's a good sign. But the other thing is just looking at the fruits. And I don't know about you guys, but like I know a lot of like pagan Wiccan people that look like shit, that are addicted to drugs, that are morbidly obese, that have all kinds of like physical ailments. All their relationships are falling apart. They can't hold a fucking job. It's like, yeah, this spirit that you're in tune with is making your life shit. I've known so many of these people that claim to like, oh, I'm in touch with my spirit guides. I'm like, you look like shit.
Like literally all of India.
I've been saying that forever. I go, look at the people, the Antifas, look at all the woke people. Do they look happy? They had this like the debate between feminists and like trad wives or traditional women, and the energy from one side compared to the other side, it's not even close. The trad women were like, they were all shiny and they had great energy. And then the feminists had wild, unpredictable energy.
The smell.
And it's just like, so they do smell. And it's just like they're so upset. They're not focused on them. They don't have kids. They're going against all of their biological drives, which is driving them crazy, which causes them to take more drugs, which makes them more crazy. It's just like, if you want to see if someone's talking the truth, read their energy. Like, are they happy people? Are they nice people? Are they, like in comedy, like the nicest guys are always the craziest people on stage. Like the Doug Stanhopes, the Joey Diaz's, the Dave Attell's, the Nick DiPaolo's. Off stage, nicest guys you've ever met. On stage, absolute savages, right? But there's these woke people, absolute the opposite. Playing nice on stage, get off, total douchebags.
Yeah.
Because
these people always hate their own families too. They hate their mothers. They hate their parents. They hate their fucking relatives. Nobody's ever good enough. Nobody's ideology is ever good enough. But
and if you go back real quick to Aleister Crowley, he is the greatest example of how dangerous rich kids are.
Yeah.
Rich kids with resources and connections are very dangerous people because they have access to spread their word everywhere because their friends from high school, their relatives are all in the powerful positions in society that can elevate and just magnify their message. And he's the greatest example of a trust fund kid who did immense damage, dude. I know he's not the Antichrist, but in some weird way, he has that kind of feel to him where he represents the darkest of dark. The lowest of vibrational, the most material.
It's the same thing. Look at him. Like, honestly, the dude is hideous looking. He also writes poems about sniffing hookers' farts. Like, he's not doing all right. So it's just another one of these things.
As a woman, Barbara Bush, I
thought it was a little bit of an improvement. But he also said that future generations, so he contacts Lamb through the Amalancha workings. We already talked about what that's like. But he does say that future generations are going to contact these entities through technology. And we already talked about that. Like CE5 is a frequency-based technological
app. It's an app.
It's an app, and that's how you summon in. This is what Stephen Greer is leading with. So, right on the money, Aleister Crowley. You were over the target. Manly P. Hall is another one, right? So in the Secret Teachings of All Ages, he claims, this is like, if you really listen to the language here, he claims ancient civilizations received advanced knowledge. Okay, received advanced knowledge. So that happens all the time. They're always giving technology, mystery school teachings, this kind of shit. And they're always getting channeled.
Yes,
that's how they give the knowledge,
this goes
right?
back to the last episode, right? About the people
it's the
who
same
survived
shit,
the flood.
Dude. Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes on to say, they receive advanced knowledge from what they interpreted as gods, angels, divine teachers, right? And I would say that's accurate. Gods, lowercase g, fallen angels. Yeah, you're over the target, dude. And he goes, post the year 2000, this ancient knowledge would reemerge. So this knowledge that they got from these entities would reemerge. And to me, that sounds like the days of Noah, right? As in the days of Noah. And that these ancient teachers or ancient gods or angels would be accepted as cosmic intelligences. This is a guy from fucking 1920 to 1980, Manly P. Hall. He's, big daddy fucking occult teachings. And he's telling you these things that were gods and angels are going to come back. They're going to reteach this shit, and they're going to be interpreted as cosmic intelligences.
Which is exactly what...
Dude.
Yeah, this is what Chris Bledsoe is lining us up to believe. Also, Alberino, a lot of these people are lining us up to... for when they do reveal themselves and we see them, we're going to be stupefied by them and we will worship them. This is the entire point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're about to show up.
One world government.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all going to. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to give you something that's like Christ adjacent, an antichrist, not like a big meanie, but like something that is Christ enough that people are going to fall for it, and it's going to be worshipped in place of Christ. And it's going to be like an amalgamation. It's going to go, hey, everybody was right. Everybody was talking about the same thing, but Jesus was an ascended master like a Buddha or something, or Christ consciousness is something we can all embody and then ascend and take our rightful place among the Galactic Federation.
You can become like gods.
Same lie the serpent sold in the garden, right? Or Jesus is a star seed, which is maybe the gayest terminology. Anybody that has star seed in their bio, immediately you could bank smells like shit, is retarded. Like there's no way around it. That's one of the worst expressions ever. But is a star seed or is a Pleiadian.
Actually, you removed that from your profile.
You did take that out, right?
Yeah,
That's not. I can't with you if you don't.
Sorry,
okay, thank you. There's a dude, Rudolf Steiner. He's a little bit wonky, but he's an Austrian philosopher, lecturer. He's a fucking new age kind of cat. He had a lecture series called "The Fall of the Spirits of Darkness," and he's got some wonky claims. He said that like in 1870, the Archangel Michael won a great battle, in the heavenly realms and casted out these entities that fell, from the heavens to the earth. But he goes, these spirits were cast down into the human realm and would be redefined, rebranded. It's the same shit over and over again as enlightening, progressive, which that's a fun word, progressive.
Oh, God.
And scientific rather than demons. He fucking says demons. And that eventually mankind would be fully deceived by these entities, insinuating it would be a long, learning curve until we were deceived. And I think that starts probably 1947. And it goes on and Hollywood does it to us and, all this shit. And then he looks at our current era is the time when the deception will be fully accepted. So like, it's not just a biblical thing, and I do want to talk about the nature of these things because we talked before, if they're going to rebrand, if they're enlightened teachers, if they're ascended masters, like I kind of fuck with David Icke, although he's been a little bit weird and bitchy lately, but the thing that nobody knows, he's just doing a lot of complaining. I'm like, stop fucking doing that. The thing that nobody knows about David Icke.
He's at that age.
He is, dude. He is. And it's all over his face. He just looks pissed off. I get it. Like, I know it's fucked up when you laid the groundwork and then other people come along.
There's some black bitches saying that, talking about reptilians.
Fucking famous off of talking about reptilians and shit. Like, I get it. It burns you up. But, like, nothing is less becoming than bitching and moaning. So, but the thing that nobody, or I guess it's public information. He wrote about it himself. This dude had something of a stroke. And within it was like a Kundalini awakening. And in that stroke, he received a download of a shit ton of information from what he identified as an ascended Atlantean master, or rather what identified itself to him.
Who is this?
David Icke.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. He writes about this in his own fucking memoir. I don't know what you would call it. I don't know what British people call it, but he this is what he experienced and what he talked about. And so it's like you have ascended Atlantean masters, you have teachers, you have spirit guides, you have.
So just to put it like to really drive that home, if you believe Gary Wayne's work, he'll directly correlate Atlanteans and the Atlantean masters with like the fallen, the Nephilim, their children. That's what Atlantis was.
Yeah. What's the hideous little not Alice Bailey, but the other woman? Blavatsky, the little potato woman. She basically said that the Atlanteans, the way that she described them, I don't know what she was reading some text and she was saying that they would build statues of themselves, but it was a 1-to-1 ratio, and that those statues were gigantic. They were like 16 feet tall or something like that, insinuating that the Atlanteans themselves were giants from a advanced race. And so, I don't know about you, but if you look at the Book of Enoch, a dead giant, a dead Nephilim is a demon. That's explicitly what the Book of Enoch says. So that's actually not even far from saying if you're channeling an ascended Atlantean master, the Book of Enoch says you're channeling a demon. Yeah. And they're very deceptive and they're very ancient.
I agree.
So, by the way, Alice Bailey also said 2025 to 2026. I know we were talking about Blavatsky, but I have Alice Bailey in front of me. Predicts that 2025 to 2026, we're going to have a redefining of Christ into the cosmic Christ, which once again, that cosmos thing. So if we have Christ consciousness, the reappearance of Christ, she wrote this. By the way, she wrote this in a book called The Reappearance of Christ. You know what year? Anybody? What year was it?
1947.
Yeah, dude. What the?
Crazy, dude.
What's going on there? But she says 2025 to 2026, There's going to be a redefining of Christ into a cosmic Christ or a Christ consciousness, which is, to me, it's the Antichrist. But all these fucking people, even Baba Vanga, you mentioned Baba Vanga for a second there, the little blind mystic, she died a while ago. She predicted her own death. She was a clairvoyant with a hell of a hit record, actually. And she predicted 2026 was going to be aliens. So it's like over and over again, people have seen this coming. And now this is what I'm talking about. It's like the government wants to do this disclosure, and all these people that are in Conspiracyville want to say, like, yeah, dude, aliens aren't demons. It's like, what about the swaths of people that predicted that this thing was going to happen during this time? And why isn't the government? It's one thing to like say, hey, there's some technology. I don't know about you, but I don't care about the technology. What is the nature of these things? What is their nature? What do they want? What are they adversarial? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Also, like the technology that we will get, what's the trade-off? Because we've already seen the American government using some of this technology, like the discombobulator. We know about the craft that's flying around. Some of it might be UFOs. A lot of it's probably us. It's just stuff we've either back engineered or was given. So we're getting really comfortable with the idea of using this stuff. And I think we're going to see it. But when you get it, when it's presented to you and given to you, what strings come with that? Like at the top of the show, we were talking about, you don't take that money.
Oh yeah.
And then go off reservation.
Nothing's for free, right?
Yeah, Sam, you're not gonna be fucking flying in a UFO and then go, I think I'm gonna do a conspiracy podcast and say, fuck you.
Yeah.
No.
It's not happening. Like They're gonna fly you into a tower. I mean, I do think a lot of these alien abductions, as people experience them, I think a lot of them are kind of covers for MK Ultra adjacent programs.
Yes.
So I think they might have like manufactured some biomechanical husks that they can kind of move around with, and they give people screen memories, because so many of the people who were abducted report the presence of medical personnel, military personnel, things of that nature. And I'm not saying that absolves it and there is no entity phenomenon. It's just like over and over again, if you look at what the intelligence agencies are doing, they're using channelers, they're using remote viewers, they're into this psychic phenomenon, they're channeling these entities. So I think often what happens is you have like giant advancements in technology, whether it's recovered tech that's back engineered or if it's channeled. You know how many people create?
I agree with you. I think something that's very similar to that is that there's this belief that many of these cryptid sightings are actually elite hunting games.
Yeah, dude.
The elites kidnapping people, them starting the rumor that it was Wolfman, Dogman. Not saying that they don't exist. I'm just saying that they're using that as a smokescreen to cover their kidnapping and their sacrifice and their sex magic and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I think that's real. This actually brings me to another part, because when people have cryptid encounters, it's not uncommon for these cryptid encounters to stop in the name of Jesus, which is a wild concept. But more prevalent is that there is a shit ton of people. Joseph
Jordan.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I can't remember this dude's name. He crushes. He's a MUFON investigator. He's dealt with, I think, over 600 cases. Yeah, 600 cases. And he says that in the abduction phenomenon, in his research across the board, number one, it stops in the name of Jesus, which if you look into a lot of the research, that's not always the case. I know people personally. There's somebody that we talked to. You would have a fascinating conversation with her. I don't know if you have. Her name, she goes by Fringe on X. She's a police officer who was also an alien abductee victim and was possessed by the lady, by the way, and eventually had to cast. She thought it was a good thing. And then she realized she was fucking like demonically possessed and had to cast the thing out. She's fantastic, wealth of knowledge and information as far as testimony goes. But he says in all of his experience, the phenomenon stops in the name of Jesus Christ. And also what's uniform is that there is what the Bible calls generational iniquity, which means somebody in your bloodline practiced the occult. Somebody in your bloodline was like a high-ranking, Freemason. Somebody in your bloodline was a New Age practitioner or a pagan or a witch or something like that. My grandmother was a lifelong abductee victim. I've had a shit ton of super strange experiences. She was fucking around with the New Age. She was a clairvoyant. She was a witch. All these different things.
My grandma was psychic. My cousin psychic, Johnny doesn't believe I believe I have psychic abilities. We have a baby in our family that sees dead people. So, I mean,
No shit.
that's what I was told by my cousin. But my grandmother, Sicilian, was she would read the tea leaves for the neighborhood. They would come to her. And then my cousin has an ability, my cousin Frankie, that if you give him an item, he can tell you the history of it.
We got to get him on
that's fucking
BS.
crazy.
We'll mail him some shit and then get him on
I'm
BS.
not going to do that, Johnny,
Oh,
so
it'd
you
be
can
so
sit
good.
there and make my cousin uncomfortable. Not going to happen.
Oh, no, I'd be very nice about it.
No,
I
you
promise.
would, you scumbag.
Do I
What would
need-
you send him?
Oh, maybe some, I don't know, some objects from around the studio, maybe. We got some interesting things here with some history.
I'm not
Johnny,
going to put my cousins on blast, okay, dude?
Okay, I'm just
Not
saying
for
that would
your
be,
entertainment.
not
geez,
for
Johnny,
my
be
entertainment, for the entertainment
Do
of the
any of
masses.
you guys want to move out and take Johnny's job?
Oh,
It's
God,
suddenly
Johnny, you're a
over.
real asshole,
He's been
dude.
so pissy this week, guys.
I've
You have no
been
idea.
pissy this week.
I think
I'll give you that.
Johnny's been combative, I've heard.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck all you guys. I like Johnny.
The fucking Discords are talking, dude.
What
The
happened?
Discord-
Wow.
No, I've
Johnny-
been pissy this week. I've been really overworked, dude.
That's all right. It's the
We need a
Schumann residence.
vacation.
Did you see that?
Do you believe in generational iniquity, though, Johnny? Like, do you think there's any veracity to that? Like the claim that this will travel through the bloodline?
That's a big thing that Tucker's been grappling with now. Have you guys heard him talking? Because, I mean...
about his father?
Well, no, but about blood guilt also, which it kind of extends to blood guilt if you think about it, right? Like, which is something that Netanyahu is big on, this idea that you can be the son of someone who wronged Israel and you can be liable.
Amalek.
Like, exactly, yes. And that is the part that gives me some pause. Do you understand what I'm saying? About
But
that idea?
that's not Johnny. Not to cut you off because I am. I don't. I don't think that's the same thing. That's someone
It's
else putting
downstream
it on
of it,
you,
though. It's downstream of
right?
that, though.
But that's the notion that you carry something that. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like you're talking about someone else putting that on you.
Well, yeah, if you're related to someone and there are traits of theirs that are flowed down to you, then would the things you did also carry like a moral, a karmic
Well,
weight?
there is generational trauma, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
we know
exactly. Which is
the
that
same
gets
thing.
passed down. But
Yeah, that's basically what we're dealing
But
with
you
here.
also, I think you could get stuff put on you. That's this is the idea of like if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed. If you curse Israel, it doesn't mean that if we give them money and weapons. It means if you speak blessings about them.
Yeah, like for example, I pray that Israel stops fucking up the world, realizes that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, accepts him, and then has eternal salvation. Like
Mad
that's a
blessings.
blessing. That's
Yeah.
a hell of a blessing, dude.
But if you
Amen.
say like, I hope that they are destroyed or whatever, like that's a curse that you're speaking
Yeah.
on someone. And
yeah,
like,
but let
that's
me
not-
ask you something. This gets. Is this the Israel of the Bible? Because again, we go back to Solomon. Solomon starts doing child sacrifice because that pagan pussy's fire, right? And God cast the Israelites out of Israel. And that's why all the really Orthodox, you see them a lot in Israel. You see them a lot in New York City saying that this is not the Israel of the Bible. Thoughts?
So, okay, wait, two things. I want to go back and just make a quick comment on the generational iniquity thing. I think there is real validity to that. You can experience the sins of your fathers or your ancestors, but the good news is the debt has already been paid. Jesus Christ came and wiped the slate clean. So it doesn't matter if you're a believer in Christ and you pray the blood of Christ over the bonds that you have because of generational iniquity. It's done. It's over. It's already paid. It's like a remedy to an old system that is very real. Israel. So
Israel.
The thing about, is this the modern day Israel? I've heard compelling arguments either way, and I'm not very smart, but I do know that if you look at the Bible, Israel was constantly fucking up, worshiping false idols, practicing all kinds of horrifying shit, doing fucking sorcery and witchcraft and worshiping the golden calf and this, fallen god and that fallen god, and then they'd come back into God's grace and then he'd fucking fall away again. And Moses parts the seas for them and saves them and liberates them from Egypt. And then they're like, what about this golden calf? So it's like
Moses also saved. I mean, listen, God would. I think there's two moments in the Old Testament where God's like, I'm going to kill all of them. One moment definitely at Korah, and Moses has to step in the gap and be like, yo, don't kill him. I know they suck, but don't kill him. And like he has the earth come and eat some of these prophets. And another time, like he's like, I'm going to go down the line here of all these Jews and kill him. And Moses steps in the line. He goes, don't do it. So it's like they suck. They always have sucked.
Yeah.
They've always done horrible shit.
Yeah.
But I guess the real question is like the government of Israel and the people that are there. I think you have like this crazy mixture. And that's exactly how I do it. If I wanted to, fulfill biblical prophecy in order to get to whatever end time here and make my play, I would mix myself in with this. So you see it clearly as like I think Netanyahu is Polish. And he's the president or the prime minister of Israel.
He's also like related to fucking Javier Milei.
Maybe. So it's like,
I think so.
Yeah,
we're
that
talking about
is
blood.
crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the bloodlines are important.
Small group and you ain't part of it.
Yeah, dude.
Small club and you ain't part of it.
Who are they really, though, is a great question, because I don't think this whole play is for Israel or the Jews at all. I think that they're useful idiots, and I think that there is a remnant within like the actual bloodline of God's people, whoever that is. I think some of them are in Israel, and I think they're also scattered in some places, but probably a large concentration, not all of them. And we get to a point where we go, well, what's actually happening? Because we're on the world stage now. Everybody is criticizing Israel.
Yeah.
Israel is about to probably cause a nuclear war.
Yeah.
Like they just
Hold
bombed.
on. Does the
nukes
Nephilim
aren't real.
Deathsquad? There we go. I was like,
No, they're about to cause a big bomb war.
Yeah,
big bomb,
you know
go
what I'm
boom
saying.
War, dude. Big
Yeah,
bomb, go boom.
But to the people, to society, causing a nuclear war is a huge no-no, and they are consistently stepping on that line. Like they just bombed an oil facility in Iran that is related to Qatar, which is one of our allies. And this oil facility is like the biggest in the Gulf, one of the biggest in the Gulf. So like they're going to cause huge shortages. It's going to be a big problem. People are going.
They're gonna lose.
The biggest
they're giving up.
no
They
oil.
want to negotiate. It's like,
But the world will turn on Israel.
Yeah.
And I think Israel right
And that's
now.
biblical prophecy. The nations turn against Israel.
Yeah, but like
but what does that do to your belief in religion if the people who kill the babies and put their cigarettes out on the babies and just drop white phosphorus on people, God steps in to defend them? Like, is that a weird mental gymnastics?
Babies deserve to die. No, I mean,
I mean, you could look at it as a bit of a contradiction, but coming from like after really thinking about it, like it's one of the things that I stumble on a lot. But it's like, man, that's the God that I serve. The guy that says, "Here's the promise I made you, and this is the promise that will stand."
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter how many times you shit on me or you say this, I mean, when they asked for Jesus to be killed, the Romans were like, "Are you sure?" And they said, "Yeah, put his blood on us and our generations." Like
and God didn't step in to stop that.
They put a blood curse on themselves, and it's God's like, I'm still going to honor my promise to you, the promise that I made to your forefathers. Like knowing that this was all going to happen, but hey, we're all messed up too. I'm not messing up.
Well, that is crazy. So I'm still coming to my understanding of the Bible. There's a lot that I have to learn, but like if you just look at that functioning thing, if God makes a promise to a people, says this is my people, right? And then for thousands of years, the spirit of Satan intermingles and fucking twists these people into insufferable assholes. But one of the principles of God is I do not break my promise, right? Like, well, then it's kind of you're in this position where it's like if you make a promise to a people and Satan knows that those are the promised people, you think that he's not going to go for them? You think he's not going to spend thousands of years? And I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I'm just using this as like a thought exercise.
That's probably exactly what's happening.
It probably is exactly what's happening. But like if this adversary sneaks in and for thousands of years just makes them look bad, makes them obsessed with coins and obsessed with foreskin and all this shit, and makes them cheap, annoying assholes, but also they want to fucking manufacture prophecy and destroy the world because Satan's been whispering in their ears. Did you know, like, what is it, Sephardic Jews or Ashkenazi Jews have the highest percentage of schizophrenia among any other populace? Like, that's fucking insane.
What?
So, I mean, just think about, I'm not like, people are going to hear this and go like, these are fucking offenders. Like, I don't give a shit, dude. I don't give a shit. I'm grafted onto the vine. Salvation comes by grace.
My track record should go deep enough where you don't say that, but that they will.
It doesn't matter. They're still going to say it. We've made fun of the Jews endlessly, but I'm just entertaining
As you should. Everybody.
Yeah. 100%. And that's the thing too, going back to that, like blessing Israel. That doesn't mean I'm giving my fucking money to Netanyahu. That means I'm praying for a people and a nation to come to their senses, stop destroying this planet, stop engaging in sin, realize that Jesus Christ already came, stop waiting for your Moshiach, this is the second coming, dumbass, and turn to Christ, repent, and have salvation. Like, there's no greater blessing than that. That does not mean cheer on Mossad as they kids on an island, or any of these other goofy ass things that whatever Christian Zionists are doing or something like that. But I'm just saying that's a really interesting thought process. You make a promise to a people and say all these other fallen gods have chosen a people. You know what? I'm going to get in. I'm going to choose my people. I'm going to make a promise to them, and I'm going to hold that promise. And then for thousands of years, Satan goes, hold my beer, watch this shit. And he makes them all retarded. You think God's going to go like, they're kind of retarded now. I guess I'm going to bail on that promise. Like, I can kind of see how this dude is going to stick to his guns. This dude, God, is going to stick to his guns. If that's what's happening, I think in my limited, capacity being on this planet for 100 years, if I'm lucky, I can kind of wrap my head around that.
It's very interesting. It's like, and also we're putting our mortal views of good and evil onto things. And it's such an enigma, dude. It's a real puzzle.
I'm retarded, so I'm just wrestling with these ideas.
We're watching a lot of this stuff play out. And like you said in the beginning, Sam, like you kind of have to be fluid. Like, okay, that's happening here. Where am I getting caught up in my emotion? Am I looking at am I looking at some prophecy? Am I looking at like current news? Am I using my brain, or am I just angry about them poisoning the wells?
Yeah. It's like, you know why? Because something did happen. I don't know if you guys saw this, but over the last 2 years, once Elon came out and he lifted the ban hammer off of X, the conversation started getting seeded and nudged. And all of a sudden, people who were not worth shit, who didn't know what was going on at all, were not capable of critical thinking, all started to notice the problem. And I was among them, dude. You catch me on Stu Peters' documentary, Occupied. I got a whole segment where I'm talking about the fucking Bolsheviks and everything. But I pulled back and I was like, wait. Why is everybody being fed this right now? Like, is it just this wonderful time where like information is flowing freely and the right information?
Is that part of the prophecy as well? Everybody turning on Israel?
Well, that's definitely part of the prophecy.
Yeah, so it's being manufactured in front of our eyes.
But is it happening? I understand what you're saying, and I'm not pressing you guys on this, but I'm asking.
Press, dog.
No. I'm asking a real question. Is like, where does it's happening versus we're getting fed this line? Where is that? Because there are things happening. They are doing these things. Israel has been behind 9/11, the USS Liberty, the JFK assassination, pedophile sex rings, war crimes in the Middle East. Where does that start or stop, and where does the feeding of us to hate these people because this fulfills prophecy? Where does that start?
So
I might have a different answer than me because I got some like new theories on, but
okay, I'll give a really quick one. What I think we're experiencing is what I call the pressure cooker theory, which is if you suppress speech, it does not go away. It just ferments in the underbelly, right? And all of these things that you just pointed out are true. It's all true. But if it was allowed to be discussed, we could have figured out a viable, reasonable solution decades and decades ago, a long time ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever. We could have figured something out. But instead, all these crimes are happening and we're forced to not be able to talk about it. That creates this pressure cooker effect. All of a sudden, this dude comes along, buys Twitter, and cracks the fucking valve. And what that does is it causes an explosion. So I think like the line doesn't exist. All of these things are true. All of these things are true, but instead of dealing with it in a healthy way, I think it was suppressed on purpose in order to get to a point, historically speaking, where you can leverage the public's response. Because they create this,
we're
right?
meant to react.
We're meant to react, yeah.
I got interviewed by Jake Shields at Bohemian Grove, and like one of the things I asked him was, okay, so you've garnered this following of, I don't know, like 1 million young dudes. Now what? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good fucking question, man. Like, because you're all riled up, and I think you're pointing at a thing that is very correct, and this is obvious.
Yes.
But now the solution is like, well, now what? Well, look at how Israel was formed. It's formed by the Rothschild, which is the red shield. And when you kind of take the etymology of that to heart, a shield is something that stands before. It protects. It's like that first layer.
Yeah. What are the Rothschilds protecting?
Well, what's behind the shield is the question. So like, okay, Israel is this shield. Israel is that first layer. And now we're meant to notice it. And now we're meant to go out there and repeat atrocities of history, which I will have no part in. Like, that's when I pulled back. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, because if some of these people are God's people, I'm not going to be responsible to talk to God later on and be like, yeah, I killed some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Want nothing to do with that. They got to stop. They got to stop what they're doing, and they will stop, because this is just how the world is going. But like, now we're meant to notice. Now we're meant to take action. Something's going to happen with Israel to the Jews or whoever, whatever you want to call them. I think what I think is going to happen, I think they're going to be moved out the way, and I think something like the Vatican or the Catholic Church is going to seed itself in Israel as like
Johnny,
the, kind
we've
of
been talking about that. That the elites, once a brand is dead, they get rid of it and insert another thing in there.
Yeah.
They do it with content creators. They do it with why is Dan Crenshaw gone? Why is Boo Boo Child gone? What's her name? The black chick in Texas.
Yeah.
No, what's her? She doesn't even talk like that because her brand is so dead. It just it doesn't work anymore. So they replace a dead brand with a brand new brand.
Yeah, that's like, say you wanted to, like, you had your eyes on a city and you really thought it was like primo real estate and you wanted to go in there and scoop everything up, but you didn't like the prices. If you could just manufacture some crisis and get a bunch of retards to go out and march and firebomb their own fucking cities.
Well, what Disney did, Disney bought up like they bought some of Orlando, and then the spots that they couldn't buy, they buy it under like a shell company. So some other entities buying it, but realistically it's Disney. And in this case, maybe it's the Vatican. I like that idea of the Jesuits kind of. There is a power that be that's behind the scenes that is ready to move these guys out the way and claim this land. And there's something special about
no, I think
that
you're
land.
I've been saying that, dude. I've also said that some of the flooding of the Muslims into Europe, could it be at some point they go, hey, Europeans, we got this Greater Israel project over here, and it's wide open land, and Europeans are way easier to manage than Muslims. So sacrifice, and it also fits into, the lost tribes of Israel versus the pagan war that's supposed to become led by Germany, what is now known as Germany. It kind of starts to play into that as well. But I've said this, man, the Israel brand is the brand is dead. And it goes back to almost like pressure cooker shit, where it's like they've put a bubble over Israel, no outside criticism, and they become the worst version of the most extreme version of themselves, where the Zionist is what the mainstream media and Hollywood try to convince you white nationalists were, white supremacists were, but really it's the Zionists that is super racist, super supremacy, super tribal, all the things that every group hates about white people. Zionists really are. And maybe it's meant to be, here we're at the end game of like, okay, out with that, in with this new group that's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, I think that you were talking about that bubble that they put over. I think we're getting to that point where they're just going to lift the bubble off. And
I think we're there. I think blacks, gays, and women, there was a bubble over them, obviously, since the World War II, but in the 80s put over those four groups where you couldn't criticize them, and they became the worst version of themselves.
Dude,
the most extreme version of them.
Why is the removal, again, like the question always is like, yes, these things are happening, but why are they happening and why in this time frame? And why is the removal of this bubble off the Jews, which are, the prophetic people, happening at the same time as fucking aliens? And if we're correct about the nature of the aliens being, lowercase g gods in some cases, or Nephilim or demonic, whatever, why at the same time, why do they go hand in hand? Why is it like,
it's all happening at once, like a domino?
And are they correlated, or are we connecting dots that don't matter? Is a question that I feel like is fair, and we need to keep asking ourselves that.
I have this really fun, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's like, how sometimes like 4chan, they would come out and they would say something mysterious, and they would be like, I'm a whistleblower for this and that, and then give it enough time, it ended up being true. Like, for example, the guy who said that he was on duty when Epstein killed himself. That guy ended up being a real fucking dude. He was actually on duty that night. He said that he watched, a vehicle pull up, didn't do the check-ins. He thinks that they actually got his body out. So sometimes, 4chan.
What's your guys' take on Panama whatever beach.
Bro, have you seen his teeth?
Palm Beach.
I want to get him on the show.
Yeah, we want to try to get him on the show. We're out
I
in Florida.
think I mean, dude, what a insane play that would be. But the amount of press this guy's getting is suspicious. Why is he?
Yeah.
Why is Jimmy Kimmel putting the guy that looks like a serial pedophile on his show? There's no other person, and if you had a guy who goes, this dude looks just like Hitler, and he's just living his life, would Jimmy Kimmel be like, let's meet fake Hitler? What's it like to be fake Hitler, dude? Well, I'm a veterinarian. I just want to work with animals, and everyone thinks I killed. Everyone I can't grow. I try to grow. I can only grow this. This is the only mustache I can grow. Right?
I swear, at this point, it's like Jimmy's source is dried up, and he'll do anything if you just let him drink one last baby. Just one last baby, just a sip and whatever. Yeah. Have Panama Pete on, whatever the you tell me to do. That guy, he'll cry on television for the dumbest shit. He'll have this guy. I don't pay attention to anything he does. As far as Panama Pete goes, I don't know. I think it's fun. I think they like to throw, just chaos. We call them golden apples. There was a goddess, I think Aphrodite. She had these golden apples of chaos.
Oh, interesting.
And she would throw them into arenas where even other gods were having like parties and stuff. And she would watch the chaos that would unfold as they started interacting with these apples. I think we're in this place where
as you bonk the apple, as you continue to inquire about it, it grows larger until finally it blocks your path.
Yes.
So we do that shit all the time.
Whoa, that's interesting, dude.
Yep.
And you know what? The Netanyahu Live or Dead is the exact same playbook they played with Damar Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh shit, I forgot all about that.
Shit. Yeah. Same thing they did with Jamie Foxx and whether or not he's cloned. Like they just do this shit.
It's just the same playbook over and over. Damar Hamlin died for the shot, and then you see this shadow figure walking through the back, but they won't show his face, and then he's alive, and you're like, dude, look at these stupid conspiracy theorists. They thought he was dead, and it's all meant to destroy credibility, dude.
That's why I barely buy into shit. I made a tweet when there was like supposedly AI videos of Netanyahu and everybody thought that he had like 6 fingers, but he didn't or some shit. And I made a tweet and I said, everybody's worried about, I said, while you guys fret about AI Netanyahu, I am pondering the explosion
I saw
of
that one. I saw that.
Bigfoot sightings in Ohio, and it's like there's something for everybody. And so I look at it all, dude. Honestly,
some of those were AI Johnnies. Like there was at least 2 AI videos. I'm like, this is
the 6 fingers thing. That was an optical illusion and pretty obvious.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like the one with his sleeve, it just looked like his sleeve. Like it just looked like his sleeve.
The sleeve one is frankly the weirdest to me, but yeah,
I thought it was like because you wear a suit sometimes, and when it settles, it'll like slide down your arm.
I'll be real with you guys.
What about the coffee though? You guys thought
the
was
coffee doesn't
fake?
bother me at all.
Well, we work in a coffee shop. That's exactly how coffee behaves.
It is how coffee can confirm.
Johnny said that. Johnny said that.
I don't know, man. I just like
to be honest. How do you guys even know this is real right now?
We're not even fucking here.
Chad, is this real?
XG is the first iteration of AI. That's why. That's why I believe that. Timo AI over here.
I've had me for a while.
Just give me a moment. I'll get you the answer. Hold on, dog. I just need a little
before
time.
The show started, we had our other guy here, Matt, and he's asking about you guys, and he's just like, "Oh, well, who's XG?" And we just played this game with him, dude. We're like, we very stone faced went like,
"Where's he from?"
No, he didn't even say that. He was just like, "What's XG about?" We're like, "He's Mexican, right?" And he's like, "Okay, but like, what's he about?" And we're like, "He's Mexican."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Yeah, I don't understand." And we're like,
Mexico.
And he was like, "What the is going on, man?"
That is XG.
That's all you need to know. That's all
tell me about XG. He's Mexican. That's the end of it. And he has bad knees, but he snowboards. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And occasionally microdoses here.
Bad knees, heavy legs. Johnny, what's wrong with your legs?
My legs are okay.
Johnny's got the best legs, dude. You should see him in stockings.
Very slender and shiny. So this 4chan post, right?
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's given a bunch of predictions, and this guy's talking about World War III and alien invasion. And this is all speculative shit. This is just fun. This is how I look at conspiracies nowadays. Does it make me smile? If not, I don't want anything to do with it. So this came out on June of 2025, and it's this long list of steps that are going to take place having to do with World War III and ultimately aliens. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but some of the funnier points. I suppose you can call them fun. After Israel breaks ceasefire and strikes Iran, Iran's going to hit Gulf oil fields and U.S. bases. This is going to cause oil prices to skyrocket. We're going to send some aircrafts that way, and we're going to succeed after a failed attempt with an amphibious invasion. And there's going to be a civil war in America to like half anti-war movement, and the other half. America's going to split in half because of this. There's going to be rolling blackouts because of the energy crisis caused by the oil fields getting struck.
By the way, guys, we are at amphibious invasion.
Oh yeah, it actually did. They just rolled out amphibious shit. I don't know anything about it. I can barely read.
Fuck out of LA, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a
generator.
I have a generator.
Need water. Generator.
For somebody else.
We
for
need a boat,
bunch of
bro.
strong black men.
Yeah. We need a boat. We need a boat. We need
Where are we going to get a boat, dude?
Buy a boat, get the here. We need to have one waiting.
Let's all go in on a fat boat for about 12 people.
Can anyone drive the boat?
I'll learn how to.
Johnny, that's why Johnny's here. That's why you have nerd dorks.
I think driving a boat's pretty easy, actually. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
So, or get a pontoon, or the one where you pedal with your feet.
Yeah.
So,
just a swan. We'll just take a paddle swan.
Or get your own amphibious.
Leave your shit. Paddle.
Craft. I don't know what an amphibious craft is, but so there's going to be blackouts, rolling blackouts in third world countries. So all the brown people are going to be totally screwed. This goes back and forth for a while. There's a bunch of crap. NATO gets involved, Russia, Poland, Baltics, yada, yada, yada. 50 to 150 tactical nukes are going to be used in high atmosphere, which is just big bombs in the sky, which is, crazy. Israel, this is all according to this thing. Israel is going to be destroyed, and the Palestinians are going to be wiped out with it. I'm sure you're going to have to bleep that. God bless Israel. Air travel is going to come to an end. Crime and chaos everywhere. It's going to be 3 weeks of big bomb events. After that, fake alien invasion begins. Now, this is actually really exciting because I've been praying a lot. And I've been praying that I'm among the first people to be able to kill one of these things in a public way so that people can see that they bleed, right? So Majestic 12, apparently, I don't fucking know, releases synthetic alien soldiers, PLF, something life forms. I forget what the P stands for. So these synthetic things, good news, guys. I think we got a chance at being able to kill them early. I don't know about the other things that are going to come later, but the synthetic things that they're going to roll out that are made in deep underground military bases and shit like that, those things we're going to be able to fuck up. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Apparently, they're going to hunt survivors. FEMA camps. If you have a conspiracy bingo card, FEMA camps are going to get involved. If you thought it was bad being designated, essential
terrorist?
No, not not domestic terrorists. Essential during COVID. Now FEMA camps are going to classify people as useful versus undesirables, which is very cool. I don't know if that's going to be done by race. By 2027, 5 billion people are going to be dead. So awesome. And the fake aliens are going to be defeated with the help of real ones, which is actually kind of plausible in my opinion, given that I think these things are going to present themselves as savior figures. But
so FEMA camps are coming soon.
What's that?
Those T-shirts. You got those FEMA T-shirts.
Well, I hope we're all in the same FEMA camp.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, but the question is, are we going to be useful or unuseful? I mean, the unusefuls are all going to be the Antifa people. We got to get the fuck
out of here. We got to go back home, dude. Got to go south. Get out of here.
Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
I will refuse to work.
We're podcasters. We are unuseful.
We're unuseful. Into the woods, dude. You got to go into the woods.
Dude, let's go to the Appalachian Mountains,
That's what I'm saying, man. You got to scatter into the woods.
We got to the thing we got to do is get another license plate, because if we roll in with California plates, they're gonna kill us.
No, you take your license plate off.
Yeah. I shoot even now in Florida. Anybody who has California license plates, we're allowed to
pull out the gas.
As soon as they roll up to the coffee shop, they get shot. So yeah, get new license plates. I mean, I don't know what to do. I think it's going to be one of those situations where, like, you think about doomsday preppers, and it's like all you're doing as an old dude with a bunch of ARs is stockpiling
for somebody else,
for the strongest black dude. Like, that's all you're doing is keeping supplies for the strongest black dude in the neighborhood.
Bro, I'm gonna put they're at the gun shop I'm at. They have one of those mounted guns.
Hell yeah!
I'm just gonna put that somewhere. I find a balcony, have the rollout, and just be like, "You're coming. I'm taking all you guys with me."
This is funny because right now I'm looking for a second car, and I keep saying, like, I like to get a pickup truck. And my wife's like, I don't think we need a pickup truck. Why do we need a pickup truck? And I'm like, fucking reasons. Because I want to be able to mount a gun on the fucking roof of it, but I can't explain that to my wife.
It's legal in Florida.
It is legal in Florida. Pretty much everything is legal in Florida.
Well, anti-Semitism laws.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to get taken to prison for more than a few memes. And so fake aliens defeated with the help of the real ones. One world government under this whole, banner of the helpful aliens and the UN. Dome of the Rock destroyed. And then the script is complete. So, I mean, look, there's a lot.
What's the timeline on this? Are we we just got to get through 3 years, or what do we got to do?
Well, they said that this is an authority on what's going to happen in the future, but
this guy from 4chan.
Yeah, this guy from 4chan. So 3 weeks of nuclear events. I mean, look, if you go to the beginning of it, Israel breaks ceasefire, strikes Iran. Already happened. Trump responds with B-2 bunker busters on nuclear sites. So we haven't gotten something like that. I know there's been some issues with B-2 stealth bombers or something like that. And Iran hits Gulf oil fields and U.S. bases. We just had something recently where an oil field or an oil refinery in Texas caught on fire. And there's been a sighting of like an orb UFO that's been going viral over another
cigar-shaped
UFO over an oil refinery. I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard to say. This, I think, would be pretty quickly. This, to me, by 2027, 5 billion dead. So we're already halfway through the year almost. Oh, not halfway. It was only the third month. I'm retarded. But so the way that I've come to understand things, if you really study like what their plans are, it seems like it's slow build up. And then all at once, boom, 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 boom. All these crazy things happen in a very short season. I think even Cliff High has his like predictive AI model that predicts something very, very, very similar to this. This is the guy that predicted Joe Rogan's podcast with Donald Trump, but he predicted it back in 2009. And he also says there's going to be, some sort of a war with Israel and Iran. And around that time, there's going to be orbs in the skies. And, we're going to go through this gigantic, he calls it a melee.
Cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah. Ethnic cleanse. No, he didn't say that. Yeah. Cleansing. He says it's like chaos on all levels, that all of the systems fall apart. And he also alludes to this idea that the Epstein files, which right now, anonymous, which I think is very fake and gay. Yeah. But they're coming out and they're going, this is really bad for the U.S. and Israel. We have the rest of the Epstein files and they're unredacted and we're going to release them. And I go, oh, good. The next, plot device is here and we're going to further this script along. Release them, don't release them. I mean, I don't really care. I'm to the point now where I'm like, let's speed this up, man. I'm not an accelerationist, but if you've been waiting as long as we have all these people, you've been doing this for so long. I've been doing this for a long time, been doing the show. But at 16 years old, I was like, they're going to fucking put our bodies in giant plastic tubs after we, get rounded up into FEMA camps and this fucking manufactured virus is going to hit. And Jesse Ventura said so. So it's been a long ride for me. I'm a little bit fatigued. And I just I don't know, man, it's probably not good. But every time something happens, it's like I'm watching I'm so dissociated. You know what I mean? It's like I'm watching Netflix.
Here's the problem. All this shit just keeps rolling out, and I still got to work. I just got to work every fucking day, just grinding. I had to work on 9/11, dude. I mean, I never get a day off, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking fake aliens, nuclear bombs. I'm still going to fucking work. I want a day off. I hope they nuke the shit out of us so I can go to bed and take a nap.
I'll tell you what, man.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm watching all this shit and I'm going, I got to be in the coffee shop and somebody's got to turn these cameras on.
Somebody's got to sit here and lie to the people. And I'll tell you what, man. If we're in the middle of this fake alien invasion and the synthetics are on the ground and I'm not getting my Amazon packages, I will be issuing bad reviews. I will be still upset. As much as I'm you shouldn't have to go to work, I'm get me my fucking life straw because I'm going to have to drink out of some puddles soon when this shit goes off, All
right, guys. Great show, dude. Oh, real quick. So we'll wrap it up here. So Johnny and I read this weird thing that was taken off of 4chan or Reddit. It was about the Miami alien situation. And it's like, you go back to like, hey, you know, this guy said something.
The ones that were at the mall running around?
Yeah, and it was like, it was really weird. And, you know, it's probably fake, but here we go with all these stories that are presented as fake and then they turn out true.
Yeah.
But this guy said some crazy shit, dude. Like, it got way, like, dude, I was telling Johnny this. It's like, there were so many cops there, you would think someone brought a gun to a synagogue. That's how many cops were at this fucking mall, dude. You know, and it's just, there were so many cops that are like, it's fireworks. And then this guy is like, I'm one of the guys on the fucking thing. And dude, I showed up. There were men in black. All the windows were busted. Dude showed up telling us, you don't know nothing. Take this thing. He goes to work 2 days later, right, Johnny? And he's like, how is Gomez doing? They're like, who the fuck is Gomez? And it's like weird ass fucking like men in black and hit you with the blue light shit. And
we should, if we should do that as a movie. We should option that script from that guy if he made it up, because it would make a fantastic movie.
Well, when that happened, that's like almost the beginning of our show. We started
pretty early, yeah.
We were saying Nephilim shit for no reason at all, and it started to go viral on Twitter, and then that happens, and then right after that, Tucker Carlson and Roseanne Barr are talking about the Nephilim, and it was like a season for that. But if I remember correctly, like we were all over that, and one of the, like there were a couple of interesting points. One was there was a huge response of all police, and typically when you have an emergency or something happening like that, especially with that many police, there's going to be firefighters and ambulance behind it.
Yeah.
There was no such thing in this case. It was police that was surrounding the area. You can pull up those old videos and you can see them. They're legit. I was actually in contact.
Like 100.
It was it was a lot. I was in contact with one of the guys that was in the high rise that he was recording from above, and he was saying he saw some shit, and we tried to get him on the show, but like he just went radio silent, so that's gone. But suspicious activity there, and I do remember like Clint was living nearby.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't have internet
for like a week or some shit.
Yeah, at least 3 days.
Yeah, the internet went out.
Yeah,
the electricity went out for a much shorter time than that.
Yeah.
And then there was rumors that they shut the airspace down above the mall. And what's really crazy is like, it was like fireworks, but really what it was like.
Oh, no, it was like
they tried to say it was black kids.
It was black kids with sticks. I was like, oh,
like, that's crazy, dude. Like I've never seen that kind of a response. And then there was videos that came out.
Swear to God, it was a euphemism. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
teenagers with sticks.
Scholars with sticks.
It wasn't that. It was
that's what they did release some images where it was like tall, skinny shadows, but you could tell it wasn't black kids. And I don't know if that was even real. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, leading up to that as well, we had the Las Vegas aliens, which was interesting. Like the dynamic of how
the ones with the Mexicans, the ones that
the ones that landed in the backyard where Homeboy was working on his car,
so like 8 feet tall
Homeboy
aliens, and they said, "Oh, these are huge aliens." And then the next event, which was like 2 weeks later, was the Miami Mall thing. And they, for some reason, said, "Oh, they're Nephilim in the Miami Mall." And I was like, "Why the change in verbiage? Why
was weird."
That? Yeah. And then everyone starts talking about that, and that's presented into the zeitgeist.
And look, great branding for us, great timing for us. You know, like Nephilim Deathsquad, while all of a sudden Nephilim is going viral, is really fantastic place to be. But it is weird. Like, why are they aliens in Vegas? But then only a year later in Miami,
it was like probably 2 weeks later.
It was it? I thought it was Jeez, man.
Yeah.
And in that amount of time, all of a sudden it's Nephilim.
No, because that was Christmas. The Las Vegas aliens was Christmas, and this was like early January, right? The Miami Mall thing.
I don't know what to make. I mean, I saw that something came out. You know, you guys are talking about like a 4chan story or Reddit story. I didn't look into it. But yeah, I mean, this is this kind of thing that the Miami Mall incident is almost like experiencing a little bit of a resurgence. And now this thing drops. Because it was kind of lifting back up again. Like, I don't know. I'm always skeptical. You know, we said earlier, like information warfare happens in a different way where it's not so much people getting paid, but it's narratives that are compelling, like slipping in.
What kind of narrative are we ourselves proliferating that is?
Oh, I know damn well I've proliferated some shit.
That was 100% proliferating. Like when Elon Musk retweeted my thing and I'm like, you realize you're a useful idiot in this scheme, that this ball that's rolling forward, no matter where you go. So it's like, when do I touch that ball and when do I back off is always the question for me.
And every time Tucker Carlson says Nephilim, I'm like, are we wrong? Like, are we retarded? Like, I don't know if we're on the wrong, because, it's like when a talking head with that kind of profile starts echoing your similar sentiments. He was doing that with Roseanne, and I'm not saying that Roseanne has got an agenda, but like, it was just weird to watch these people, say the things that I'm saying, and I'm like, now I got to check my shit. Like, am I saying the right thing? Like, because it's almost mainstream. It's almost mainstream now, right? Like Nephilim, fallen angels. I still believe like this is the core of what we're dealing with. I just think it's a matter of, I don't know, when something is true and it's compelling, there's no telling who's going to grab onto it. So yeah, as far as the Miami Mall incident thing goes, like, I don't know what that was, but I know you don't shut down airspace. You can't explain the blackout. You can't explain the internet going down. You can't explain why there was no other emergency vehicles other than 100 police cars. I don't even know does a school shooting get 100 police cars? Like, I got no idea.
Synagogues are the only thing that get 100 police cars.
For 50 kids. I looked it up. There was roughly 50 teenagers there. It was on New Year's Day.
There's definitely something happened there that's a lot crazier than they want us to believe. And the 50 kids thing is a psyop, and maybe the videos of some tall thing is, but it's a psyop that, it's this tall thing when maybe it was something totally else, and they just would rather you talk about the tall thing than what was actually there. It also gets into when they were talking about the guy who ate someone's face because of they blamed it on bath salts, but really it was like some MK Ultra vaccine shit that he just went nuts. And they just blamed it on bath salts. Now none of us can smoke bath salts anymore.
Oh man!
Because we're going to eat our
remember the face peelers
dude.
in fucking Peru, where it's like, they're saying that it's dudes that are working in a mine that are assaulting the locals, and then you go there and the locals are like, no, dude, it's like floating like mech suit men who look like Green Goblin from Spider-Man, minus the helmet and minus the green. And they are peeling the faces
Timothy
off of the
Alvarino
locals.
has done great work on this.
He actually does, yeah.
Even though we hate him.
And I make fun of him because he believes in the face peelers thing. And it's not that it's not compelling. I'm just looking for any reason to make fun of him. So my logic is totally inconsistent.
But that's weird shit.
It is super weird. And that came out around the same time. The Peruvian face peelers was around the Miami Mall thing. It was around the aliens in Vegas. Like, we keep having this thing. We keep getting really close to the sun and then like culturally backing off for a little bit, decompressing, talking about the Jews, all the fun stuff. And then all of a sudden, like some bizarre, disproportionate sightings of Bigfoot in Ohio. Right? What? And like the police are talking about it. Oh yeah. From the 6th to the 10th, we had about 9 sightings of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And even that is like, dude, do you know how fucking crazy that is? You get one sighting of Bigfoot once in a blue moon by some dude who probably has sex with his relatives.
Dude, it was nothing but hot chicks DMing me on Instagram about all these Bigfoots. I was like, this is great.
Big feet. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know what that is. And then it just fizzles out. And, so it's like
these iterations happen. I correlate it to Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin will go up and then it'll be a steep decline. And then the next time it goes up, it's much higher. So every iteration that we pass, it's just like more and more intense, like these waves of just like contract. I guess it's like a birth giving.
Schaefer shit, right? All this stuff comes out about him. And then 2 weeks later, everybody's I'm just telling you, if a scandal comes out about you, just get off the internet for 2 weeks and everyone will move on.
I've heard you say that. I've heard you. People have called you.
I DM'd him to see if he needs someone to talk to. I don't know if I told him, just wait 2 weeks and everyone will move on, dude. It happens.
I DM'd him too a while back. He's just been fucking rolling, bro. He's been going hard in the paint.
No, he's back. He's back on his brand, which is great. And I just tell people, if you're gonna go hard right or you're gonna go hard left, at some point you're gonna be a human being, and that's gonna cost you. Because if you're pushing idealism, you're going to come out as a human being and it's going to cost you with your fan base. So it's like, that's why I'm as honest as I can about what a fucking knuckle dragging scumbag I am, because I don't want you to think I walk on water or I have some holy position. I'm like just trying to figure this out with you, and I have a lot of vices, and I'm a fucking weirdo. So it's just like, dude, don't look for me for some moral compass, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just
I do
telling
the
you,
same thing
Keep
for
your
the.
dick out of the dirt, guys. Like especially if you're in the limelight or if you have a camera on you, man. I can't emphasize this. And even just a regular dude, just fucking, man, be happy with what you got. Get up and thank God. Like, look what I have.
Dude.
Even if your wife is a little ugly, so what?
Well, that's the thing that we live
probably better in bed.
It was his it was like his co-host. And that's what I'm trying. I tried to tell him, I was like, dude, there's one thing that I live by. He never responded to this, but there's one thing that I live by. It's like never have sex with your co-host. And but he never
yeah,
Dude, that's how it is in comedy right now. I look at these female comics like they're androgynous robots. I tell the story. I'm playing a gig in San Diego. The waitress is, you were there, right?
I was there, yeah.
Do you remember how gorgeous that waitress was?
Amazing.
And I'm like, all my monkey DNA is like, and I'm just like, androgynous robot. Hello, hi, how are you? Thank you, goodbye. And that's just how you got to go, dude. You can not with the female staff and the his girlfriend was there, so he had to be on.
Yeah, I was on my best behavior.
You better behave, bro. I'm watching you, man. I see you.
You're gonna piss off
Actually,
Spanish
he wants
chicks,
to
dude.
be scandalous. He just can't do it. Guys, great episode. One more time for the first time. Tell us where they can find you.
Nephilim Deathsquad on all platforms. If you're looking for, like I said, we record every day, dude. So if you're looking for fresh episodes, if it's not enough on YouTube, if it's not enough in these other places, head on over to patreon.com/Nephilim Deathsquad. You get to watch the shows live. You get to be part of a huge community. All kinds of perks, discount codes. Oh, yeah. TopLobster.com is where we get all of our merch.
Buy that Dan Bongino shirt. He loves that one.
God bless Deputy Director Dan Bongino. And also, when it comes to Bohemian Grove, which, Sam, you were gracious enough to headline the last one, and it was a fucking completely chaotic, insane event. Well, the Patreon members are going to get first dibs.
My favorite part was Lobster was like, yeah, today we had a great show. I go do stand-up, and he's like, tomorrow's the comedy. I go, what the fuck was I doing? What was I doing up there?
You're saying the N-word on stage with us.
That's my rule. I do a festival. That's why they don't invite me. I do a festival. I got to drop at least 10 N-bombs through the
Dude, I think we broke
you goaded us. First off, I took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go up there. Let's talk conspiracy. Let's talk this. And he was like, let's say the N-word.
It's crazy, too,
And I was
because
like,
in his
fine.
contract, it was only 3 times. We're like, you got to say it 3 times. And he was like, how's it?
I like to give you more bang for your buck.
I appreciated that, man. And I appreciate you having us, Sam. Tinfoil Hat's been, one of my favorite shows. I know Top's the same way for the longest time, probably since its inception. And you paved the way for retards like us. So thank you, dude. Thank you for having us. Thank you, XG. Thank you, Johnny.
Retards,
one more plug. Come out to the Standard Coffee Shop, Casino, Fabrication Shop, and Christian Library to see us. Yeah, come say hi.
Yeah, Standard Coffee Shop in Lady Lake, Florida.
I want to do a thing like more in real, like we have people come every week at least from probably a different state. Some are local in Florida, and they come and they hang out. We talk with you for however much time we have, and it's good. Like we're meeting these people face to face. They're exactly what you think they'd look like.
Hideous.
But that's why I wanted to do this thing. Like I don't want to fucking sit behind a camera and a computer all the time. Like this is cool to actually meet the people and say, all right, this is a community, and like, when shit goes down, the name of this place is the Standard because it's the standard bearer. That's where you go during a war when you need to regroup. That's what it is. He's the guy that holds the flag. So we come back here, we regroup. When shit hits the fan, come over here, Sam.
All right.
Yeah, man.
I want to get out of here tomorrow. I might make my play. All right, guys. Great show. Thank you guys so much. Let's break it down. All right, guys. Nephilim Deathsquad. What'd you guys think?
Dude, we got to go to that coffee shop.
Okay, we got to go, and I think the Nephilim Deathsquad owes XG an apology for all the editing he's going to have to do with all the F-bombs,
I'll be honest, I don't know because I haven't ran it through the edit program. I think it's less. Last time it was 120 F-bombs with these fools. So I don't think they've been the max, which is not surprising.
Well, I think didn't they drop another F word in like the first minute or whatever?
They really are Legion of Skanks meets Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing so well, because they have great energy. People love them. They're very knowledgeable, dude.
I will say, did you bump it all on? They shit on a term that you are fond of, the starseed thing. They were like, oh,
yeah. I mean, I get that too.
Yeah.
I get that too.
What do you think of that though? Do
I think God sent down people? Maybe the term is weird, but I mean, do I think Jesus was starseed? No. Maybe I said that before, but I don't think he is. I think he was sent down to teach us how to survive in this crazy energy field we live in.
This might be like a different thing. You know who La Russell is?
Who?
The rapper from the Bay, La Russell.
No.
He just got signed. Well,
Did you ask Johnny from North
I
Carolina?
don't know why, but you know who he is? La Russell,
well,
the guy that dang at the
I'm
Super Bowl.
53.
All right, well,
I'm 53.
I don't know. You guys are on Instagram. Basically, he made a song saying God sent. He was saying Diddy, Martin Luther King was God sent. Kanye West was God sent. Then he said Trump was God sent. Then he said Hitler was God sent. Then he said, and then he got canceled. And he was just trying to say like we're all made from God.
Yeah,
and it's just saying he think the wrong word.
Yeah, you can't go pro Hitler.
Yeah,
dude.
he was trying to go pro Hitler, pro Jeffrey Epstein, and he just got signed to Rock Nation. It's just funny. It's the wordage.
Took a big swing there.
Yeah,
Took a big swing.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like that one influencer who's just getting knocked out all the time. He got punched in the face.
What? Really?
Oh,
yeah.
fine.
There's this boxer rapper guy who got knocked in the face. Got elbowed by Tiki the night before. That giant black.
Larry Wheels.
Something.
Yeah, Larry Wheels.
Slapped him in the face, and he just blew up. So the next night he got elbowed, just blew up.
He must be asking people to do it.
No,
right?
he's totally.
Yeah.
It's like that's his thing now. He's like, oh, I get a lot of views.
Dude, that
if I get
sucks.
shit kicked out, and that's the reality he wants to live in.
He's trapped. Yeah, he's trapped in that because that's what gets him famous.
And that's gonna get old fast.
Yeah, dude.
So you really get some brain damage. You really get really hurt.
It was a great show, dude. If you go to my website, you go to samtripoli.com.
Joe Frazier of
Raleigh,
social media
North Carolina, Atlanta with Brett Binkley and Howie Dewey, Hamilton, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, Dallas, Fort Worth, Huntington Beach. I'm shooting my special at the Creaking Cave in Austin, May 22nd. Grab your tickets, please. Albuquerque. The 1000th episode of Tinfoil Hat sold out. Then August 13th, 14th, Joke World Festival, September through the 19th, Lawrence, Kansas, Tulsa, and then Austin, finishing it out. Hopefully new dates will come. That's all I got to say. That was great. If you go to samtripoli.com, premium content on fire. My thumbnails on fire. I'm one of the best thumbnails guys. I can only do it with me in it. That's it. Kurt Metzger shows. Austin Picard, Brad Binkley shows, Deep Conspiracy Rewinds. Johnny, talk about Cash Daddies and why it's important that people join.
Great community there. We have a Discord over at Cash Daddies where people share ideas, and you can ask your questions every week of Howie, who knows his shit, man. Learn about your investing.
Make some money, honey. Obviously, investing is a risk, but he's been beating the S&P for a long time. Go down. Chaos Twins working on that. I'll have more stuff on that. T-shirts. Grab your T-shirts now. Some of these T-shirts are, when they're gone, they're gone. $15 T-shirts. Where do you get that from? Anybody know where else you get a $15 murder T-shirt? Doesn't happen. tinfoilhattshirts.com. And then we got Wise Wolf Gold and Silver, Wolfpack Gold, samtripoli.gold, get his precious metals game, fixing the link for the Mineral King, Harley Ray, candles, crystals, hydrogen brown gas. Dude, my chemical-free body, you know I love my supplements. I take it from there all the time. Joel Staley, EMF Rocks, Block That Dirty Electricity, Prometheus, and then Brain Supreme, on or off?
Off. Reset, baby.
I thought you just said you were on.
No, that was last week.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Duh.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Check out my podcast, Actually Marks the Spot. Please, you'll love it.
Okay.
New Broken Salmon's out.
All right. I thought the Nephilim Deathsquad guys crushed. As always, check out the show and enjoy these highlights.
Tonight, we're deep diving into one of the most disturbing programs that they try to bury, the Gates program. Gifted and talented education program. Nope. We're talking another recruitment pipeline for the CIA. We're talking
finally
psychic
starting
tests,
to remember.
weird pink drinks,
Talented
frequency headphones, and kids
Gate
that were never, ever
Gifted
the same again.
learning,
And to my
complex
right,
learning,
my inked up
advanced
co-host
learning.
was a Gates participant.
You've
we're
been
gonna
on
deep
our
dive into
radar
their
for a long
experience,
time.
let you guys in on
You're
what
finally
is
ready,
the Gates
baby.
program. Were you part of it? If you are, don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Strap in. This is gonna get weird. Welcome back to the number one educational podcast in the world. It's your boy XG Marks the Spot. And like always, I got my number one producer / journalist, Chili Millie. Oh boy, do I know how to fucking pick them, dog. I know how to pick them. Sam Tripoli knows how to pick them. For everybody who doesn't know, Chili Millie is a GATE participant.
GATE program participant.
GATE program participant. So is Johnny Woodard. If you're a 90s baby like me, you know exactly what the GATE program was. It was a gifted and talented education program established in 1980 in the United States. The whole opposite of the fucking special ed program. It was for and the opposite of the ESL program, which I was very, very part of. English second learning language. Damn,
Yeah.
I don't even know it till this
I was gonna
day.
ask you what ESL.
But yeah. The GATE program was just a program in the 1980s replacing the earlier mentored gifted minor program. That shit just, the word minor alone lately is just very triggering.
Yeah.
But it was a program that was established to pick out the smarter kids, the talented ones. I'm telling you, this is how they pick the mayors, the politicians, the CIA agents. I think this is how they started recruiting them. But, which is weird because I think every school recruited them separately or differently, right?
Yeah, I think so.
How'd you get recruited?
You
Because I don't think I got
didn't think about it
recruited.
till right
Huh?
now. I didn't think about it till right now. I was in ESL, so like they put me in ESL automatically. But
Why? Because you got
my
the tan
last
in you?
name.
Okay, yeah, because that's how
Yeah.
they are. They're like tan, Mexican, white.
Yeah, so it was my last name, and then when I went to the class, I couldn't talk to anyone because I don't speak Spanish. So when I
How do you go from I don't understand what's going on?
I was just in this class and I'm like, I don't know what anyone's saying. And so I went to my mom and I was like, they have me in this class and no one speaks English. So she went to the school and told them. And then after that, then I went to GATE. So I don't know if they were just like,
Did you take a test?
I don't remember taking a test, but I remember after that I went to GATE and then we got like those bumper stickers and all that stuff. But I don't.
Because I guess every school had its own way because there wasn't like a standardized test. It wasn't like you took a test and then you got into GATE. It was literally by the district. Some teacher were like, hey, this kid's really smart. Can we put him into GATE? Some parents, pretty sure
I think my mom told them that, hey, she's smart.
Yeah, some parents could argue and be like, no, I think my kid's smart. You have to put him into GATE, which is, I mean, if you're not smart, it's fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of extra work for someone who isn't smart. I mean, and we're here in the LA County, which LA County was one of the main hubs, the LA US.
They're the main ones.
Yeah, I mean,
no, they can't be because Candace Owens and what's his face, Charlie Kirk were in it. I don't know where they lived.
No, it served over 70,000 students alone.
Yeah.
Which is a fuckload of districts. Which I'm telling you, this is how you find these specific people you're looking for. Do you looking for someone who can speak properly, who's not scared on stage?
So maybe that's how they picked. They did handlers, and then maybe the people that were going to be in front.
I might be fast forwarding like always, but I don't think I got asked to be part of the GATE program, but I do remember the hearing aids test.
They have them in class, so like there's two different ones.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are. Now a simple preparation. Because of the special audio techniques used, it's important that certain sounds reach your right ear and others your left ear. To be sure of this, you should be hearing my voice in your right ear at this moment.
There are ones where everyone takes the hearing test.
Okay, I took that one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one when you get in the van and but I also think that's how they're, okay, because you know what astral projecting is.
What is astral projection? Your soul leaves the body at night, every night, for about 3 hours. I go into the fifth dimension. I go to various dimensions. I've described the Astral Museum. That's where Bill Gates and Einstein went, and Tesla and everybody else to get futuristic.
So then you sit there and you take this test, and I honestly
take the hearing test.
Huh?
Yeah, you hear.
But you said there's two different ones. There's
There's
the
supposed to be
hearing
two different
test,
ones.
and then there's the other one that.
Yeah,
I
remember taking it, but I don't know if I took the normal one or the one that it was special. But I did drink the pink drink that you're supposed to get. I remember that, and it's chalky.
there's this pink drink in the gate program, and there's rumored to have been scopolamine in it. Do you know what scopolamine is?
No, what's that?
So scopolamine is a drug. They use it in Haiti sometimes. I forgot how they make it, but it's pretty much makes you very, very suggestive. So a lot of people were doing like witchcraft, and they would like blow scopolamine into someone's face, and they would become basically like a zombie. They would take them from their hotels or whatever all the way to ATMs and get their money out, take them back to their hotel.
They're still doing that more recently too, in
Really?
places like Mexico, I think, and other places. Yeah.
That's insane, bro. So so they're saying that there was this pink drink in the gate program. So when they would go there and to go to the gate meetings and stuff like that, they would have this pink drink, and they think that's why they're getting repressed memories.
I don't know. You're supposed to have like a scar on your forehead. I have that.
A scar.
Yeah, you have that. So I don't know if that's like anything linked. Some people don't have it.
Well, okay. Now to go into depth.
Okay.
Why do you think you got recruited
I was
into gate? Was there something? Were you good at math? Was there something
Yeah.
that you? Because I was about to ask you the same question. Was there any kids in there that you were like, holy shit, this kid he's a whole different level. Like he really should be in this gifted program.
Honestly, which I don't know. I looked it up because I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing. So I thought maybe it was like a scam. Like when you first asked me, like, are you in gate? I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it turns out that like you're stupid and they made it seem like you're special. But I didn't know it was like a thing. So I didn't pay attention to it when I was in school. But I don't remember anyone that was in it. But the thing that was weird is I blacked out a lot as a kid. So I don't know if that's normal. I looked it up, and I guess like you can have like memory spaces. So like I remember when I went into it in the 4th grade, and when I would do like, I remember one time I was doing like I had to stand up in front of the class and like do like a speech, and I blacked out during it. And then I remember when I woke up, and then I was still giving it, and I don't remember what happened into it. I remember I blacked out when I was doing swimming classes. And they tested me because my dad had a brain tumor, and they would test me to see if I had a brain tumor.
Shit.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. And then when I looked into this, that happens. Isn't that crazy?
No, that's not.
That
so
one freaks me out.
So the reasoning for gate, like the reasoning the school said gate was an actual program and they needed it, was to challenge advanced thinkers. Gifted kids often finished work quickly and got bored in standardized classes. Gate provides depth, critical thinking, creativity, and real-world application to prevent underachievement. Potential long-term winnings. Participant may have seen better academic outcomes, high college success, and kids who had opportunity to think faster and deep digger. Do you really think any of that was literally...
But there's two different things. Like, isn't there people in advanced classes and then there's a gate program? Those are two different things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they have classes and courses where like it'll prepare you for like college or like stuff like that, then it's not the same as
But
gate.
gate wasn't in high school. I think gate
Gate
was in high school.
Yeah, because that's when I was in gate in elementary school and junior high, and then I was supposed to go to a different school in high school, but I didn't want to go, so I failed the test that was supposed to send you to a different school.
No, because
You know
you're right.
what I mean?
There's
It's in high school.
it's called it's not it's called like a college course. In high school, there's advanced
That's
biology.
There's other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm for what I remember, and I was pretty active in my fucking high school. I don't remember there being a gate program. I was an avid kid program.
I think you go to a different school.
Yeah, you might be right.
I was supposed to go to a different school. But
you're
then
right.
When I stayed at my school, I was in the classes that got you ready for college.
No, you're
I
right.
was in advanced
I
classes,
think
but
not
gate.
my rival school, but there was a school in our district that had the gate program.
Yeah.
You're right. My school definitely did not. It was a fucking...
Johnny went to the school.
Johnny Woodward went to the school.
So
I mean,
he
I'm gonna
didn't
add
go
the
to-
clip, but I
Yeah.
brought it up on Tinfoil Hat.
You drank the pink drink, right?
Yeah, there was some weird. I don't.
When you interviewed
I think that
Chili,
was-
did you ask her cup size?
She's gonna love that question.
Guys, go to Tinfoil Hat too on you.
Crazy is that you're not supposed to remember things. Like a lot of kids don't remember anything. And when you hear Johnny talk, he doesn't remember. He's like, I think so. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Dude,
so I'm like, you do have memory spazzes. So I don't know.
And Chili sent me a couple fucking videos on the gate program, a couple deep dives on a couple conspiracies channels and theories. And one of them blew my mind because, I mean, for everybody who doesn't know, it's said or claimed that everybody in the gate program, not everybody, but a high percentage of them dream about this small.
Mall world. Have you ever been there? the mall that's attached to like a hospital and a school and a parking garage. There's also the airport attached to the mall. And then back behind the mall, you have the amusement park, water parks, and like the literal ocean, cliffs. You can see it through the windows. You can see the ocean through the windows of the mall and the hospital. Sometimes you can see this in the background. Then there's the big theater attached to the mall, school. Everyone you've ever met is here in the theater. You have like an underground market, which is different than the mall. It's more like a flea market. There's infinite toilets. Anytime you have to use the restroom, it's like they're...
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. Now, I've always been of the opinion that no matter what comes out, this kid is doomed. This Tyler Robinson. But if, let's say,
so obvious.
There was a story. I'll just read this headline from the Daily Mail. Bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match rifle allegedly used by suspect Tyler Robinson. New court filing claims. Again, from the Daily Mail, it's been reported widely the bullet that killed conservative commentator Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle used by suspected killer Tyler Robinson.
Johnny, you okay? Did you just orgasm right there?
I mean, I can't believe this came out. You know, that they let this out. This is kind of the thing that you always suspect that just gets swept under the rug, or they swap the bullets out or something. So, I mean, are you doing like a digital victory lap on Twitter? I haven't seen your timeline.
No, but just watching people now try to dismiss that. Oh, that doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah,
and I'm just like
people saying like, "Hey, just because it doesn't match, that could be because they don't have enough of it." Or, and I'm like, okay.
It's just anything not to admit they're wrong. That's what I believe. Anything not to admit you got it wrong. You guys suck.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I guess there is some percentage chance, but
I mean, like, what puts him there except for them telling us that he was there? Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know there's plenty of holes in that video, believe me. But
yeah, for sure.
That's what they'll say, I guess, right? And then his text, which, I mean, he's, you know, right?
I mean, what? I mean, how do we know if that's real? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that's just, I mean, this is, oh God, what a surprising headline to see laid on a.
It's just, I mean, dude, you're right, Johnny. They're never going to let him out, but this is so bad now that I just don't even think they're going to be able to fake the funk on this one.
Do you worry about them maybe Epsteining him?
I mean, but my whole point is that you're never going to, that, like, if it was like, oh, he may win his case, but everyone still thinks he did it, then they would off him, or he had information. But it's so obvious he didn't do it that I just think that what would be the point of killing him?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. I mean, unless he had some kind of information, you know, that could imply somebody else's involvement or something. I could see that. Kind of like Oswald, I think, knew a little more than he should have when he was saying he was a patsy. I could see it happening. But, oh, golly. I mean, everything about let's say you're the person who works for the CIA or the deep state, and your job is to plan these kinds of events.
They're sloppy, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is this going how you wanted it to?
No,
I mean,
it's not going at all.
Right? Like all this Erica Kirk
just watching everybody just it doesn't mean anything. It's just like no one can admit that they are wrong. That's the worst part of everything. Just admit you're wrong. I'm like, I keep my head on a swivel, dude.
Yeah, I'm involved on this. At first, because I saw the text, and I'm like, okay, he's dead to rights. But I mean, as more stuff comes out, especially the Erica Kirk stuff. At first, I'm like, boy, that's weird.
I mean, dude, she's just getting murdered, dude.
I know. I mean, and what was did you see that guy who's what's his name? Who's like, he's
Drewski?
Is he the guy who was like, no, not Drewski. The guy who was talking about like, well, they reported that she went on a shopping spree.
Yo, yeah, dude, so that's the billionaire kid. That everyone's like, oh, this billionaire. He's telling the truth, dude. I mean, like, I'm like, here we go with rich kids again, just basically inserting themselves. Hey, that's literally how he starts it. I am the son of a billionaire, and I'm laying it all on the line because I just believe in truth, and I might get killed for that. I'm like, oh, why are you so dramatic?
It's just, and I just, again, I come back to like, if you're running this plot, you should you should be fired. You know,
What about the guy who ran the Michigan governor?
That's the worst one. I mean,
he just basically, they moved. Okay, dude, didn't go the way you wanted to. Let's move it on to why don't we move you on to January 6th?
It reveals to you how dumb they are, though. Like a lot of them, even at the higher levels, they're just not smart people.
Yeah, I mean,
here it is. Okay, this is this idiot right here. He really thinks he's coming down on you. You know, like dropping a hammer on you with this shit.
Yeah, it's
from our friend James Lee retweeted this.
We love James Lee. I'm doing a show.
Erica shows up, all she has is the clothes on her back.
Oh my God, so tragic.
And now there are conspiracy theorists putting out nonsense like Erica went on a shopping spree. Nobody had clothes. I didn't have clothes. I had to put scrubs on. We threw our clothes away. Now you know we had to go to the store and buy clothes, yeah. But that doesn't stop the conspiracy theorists, huh? They say they know what happened. So later, after Erica meets with the doctors,
oh
and
my God,
Charlie,
so dramatic.
This is maybe 6 hours after. I see her in the hall. She's a mess.
Oh, sorry, can't take this too serious.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it's just so dramatic, stupid.
Is that what we're supposed to believe? That they're just running around their skivvies for a couple hours until they got, like, this guy's in scrubs and she's what? Just got her, like, what? What are we talking
I'm
about?
running around in tidy whities. I don't even have briefs on.
It's just so.
I mean, my God.
Part of it.
What am I supposed to do?
Is it another one of these things that's meant to divide us so that we aren't paying attention to other stuff? You know what I mean? Is it that bad? Is it that obvious because for that reason, you know? Because it is split. It put a big split in the conservative movement, especially, you know, like the Kirkites, I would say, are pretty split on this issue.
Johnny, you love the Kirkites.
Yeah, what would you call those? What do you call it? They're not really neocons, are they? Because what do you
they're
call
just
them?
annoying, whatever they are.
Yeah. But the Charlie Kirk branch of conservatism, what would you call that?
Evangelical?
Yeah, something like that, right? Although I mean, it sounds like he was evolving. That's probably what got him in trouble.
Well, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, here's the thing, Johnny. It's just like, why don't people just listen to me?
Yeah. The world's
I just
smartest
don't
dumb
get
guy.
it.
It says it right there.
Yeah. How come you don't listen to the world's smartest dumb guy? I would tell you what's going on. It's real simple. Okay. Real simple. It's and again, Johnny, if you're watching Broken Sim right now and you haven't listened to the last episode of Tinfoil Hat, you're missing out on a lot of evidence, a lot of interesting takes. I'll tell you that right now, Johnny. You're missing out on a lot of interesting takes. And you know, this is all part of a prophecy thing. So, and even Erica Kirk's role. Now, what I will say about Erica Kirk, there's a lot of people going, "Oh my God, she is so evil." I don't think so. I just think she's being manipulated at a very young age and playing a role. I don't know how much say she has in what she's doing. Like when you're an MK Ultra sex kitten, do you have any say in what you do?
Yeah, and it probably all gets framed as like opportunity, right? You know, it's like, hey, we got a big opportunity for you. Just come in here, and you know what I mean? It's in a benign kind of packaging when it's presented. I'm sure they're not like, hey, you want to traffic, you know, some people, some young people?
Yeah, it's just like, go here, do this. That's it.
No, it's
that's all. That's
like,
all it is.
In church, you want to marry a fine, upstanding citizen.
No, it's not even that, Johnny. It's just like, go here, seduce him. It's like my bit that's been crushing. I did it a couple times. I even did it at the Comedy Store on a Tuesday night that could get rough at night. And it's about how pussy is the greatest weapon of mass destruction. Right? I mean, it annihilates men.
Yes.
And you just can't fight it.
can try.
You can try all you want.
Catches up to you though.
It just dude. It's gonna get you barracuda pussy.
You gotta get the poison out. If you don't get the poison out, occasionally that's what Howard Stern used to call
dude, even billionaires get taken down by like illiterate trailer trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unbelievable. I mean, one of the stories I'm telling, King Solomon. I mean, that guy had everything, and he met one pagan chick, and next thing you know, Israelites are getting kicked out of Israel. One pagan chick with fire snatch took everything down.
Yeah, it's not the only time too that happened in the Bible. Yeah, there's other instances of
Dude,
that.
some people bringing up old jokes of mine in the stripper in the wheelchair. One in my instant classics.
Yeah, going back.
People are like, "Oh, you ever gonna do that joke again?" Like, yeah, if you give me a time machine, I go back to being 20.
Yeah, that's your most physical bit that
you can't do stripper in a wheelchair unless you have youth. I go down, I may not come back again.
Speaking of going down, Lindsey Graham went down to Disney World.
I mean, like, what are we doing as a society?
This is the craziest story, dude. He goes to Disney World while the government's on a shutdown. He's got some kind of, what's that, like cotton candy or something?
I don't even know what he's got. He's so creeping. You know they have those tunnels. You know they have the Club 33. And look at him, just walking around like an idiot by himself.
None of the photos ever show him with anybody like that appears to be with him. It's like a worker. He appears to be by himself at Disney, which is... I mean, what do you always say about people who go by themselves? It's like creepos, right?
Dude, anytime grown men are by themselves wherever children are, they're shady. That's a golden rule in life.
Oh, wait. Okay. This says, as for the bubble wand, an eyewitness tells us he was holding it for a little girl while she was in the bathroom. So maybe he was there with somebody. Oh, yeah. There's some people that are there with him at least. What a creep, though. Just walking around Disney. What is this? Just other random people on planes? Oh, yeah, there's Bernie Sanders going somewhere. Ted Cruz. Ugh. Sam, what did Sam just left, huh? Sam had to go rub one out to the thought of Lindsey Graham alone at Disney, I guess. How far into the show are we? I want to talk about, now that Sam is back, we talked about this on the episode that's about to come out, but we didn't play the video. And this is going to be our last episode before Easter. So I just thought we should revisit the episode. I mean, the prophecies of Chris Bledsoe, because damn if they don't seem prescient in this moment right now. I mean, to a concerning degree. Have you heard this recently, Sam?
I have not, Johnny. Okay. I mean, yes, I have actually heard it. It's unbelievable.
Right to the Pentagon in 2012 when I told this. Okay?
2012.
One thing she told me was, when you see Iran and Israel exchanging missiles, and I saw it, the way she tells me is a vision of, I see it like a living picture screen. I could see the rockets flying. Then all of a sudden, orbs appeared out of the ocean and everywhere.
Great.
And I told the government, if this happens, the orb's going to appear and wake people up and stop it. That's what she told me.
April 2026.
Yeah.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
Go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.